Suave on the track.
Whatever it takes. Alleyway.
Coco, this your season right now.
They won't see me. They won't let me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the odds wanna murder, I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the odds wanna murder, I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I put attention, all in my blood, all in my veins. They started with Perky, now that hair by numbers veins. You started with serving, now them drugs drove you insane. Started with dealing, I grew up with killers, they taught me the game. I got some niggas that die behind, and that shit won't never the same. I know some niggas that lie behind, and that bullet had his name. Ain't no reason to cry about, cause that shit won't never change. MTF the 4th and P, my niggas can't get out the game. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stern. I know the odds wanna murder, I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stern. I know the odds wanna murder, I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah.
Lost, see, I glossed to it, shit ain't been the same. Heard the ops talking to the feds, giving names. Who gon' feed my family if they take me out the game? Keep one in the head and one eye open, that ain't change. I'm quick to catch a body. When I shoot, he shoot, I know bro shooting right beside me. Them hollow tips go through the wall and then they hit his.
Niggas died at 65.
Yeah. Hey man, all I'm saying is, nigga, you always got something to say. It's like you don't shut up.
Blazing on the track.
A lot of niggas died 1865. Single Michael fled high, I ain't gon' let it ride. Everybody hot and black was never on your side. They too maps to tell your apps where you sleep at night. They put that white man on. Got you begging them for answers like that white man know. Had you swearing you was African, that's that white man home. Had you proud to be a savage, that's that white man's zone. And I ain't talking shit, this by definition. If being savage was our nature, y'all be non-existent. We done took your ass out when we was in them kitchens. Instead of showing you how to live and how to maintain business. White supremacy fake. Only way that shit real is if you do what they say. So dope, my eyes low. When you move like God, the time slow. I came back for the blacks and John Doe's. Crack open them land patents, let go of them townhomes. What's a native to a native? He $5 dough if he not melanated. Pale faces got you waiting on a savior. Sending prayers up, he texting back on vacation. Yeah, God's children. Give all your praise to Jesus, but how God feeling? He say put no one before him in divine image. It's you with God and Christians. I got a vision, but niggas ain't gotta listen, so they don't. We came from the soil, wasn't fucking with no boats. Bible took our spirit, English plotted on our homes. Tribal families turned on us, don't act like y'all don't know. But fuck them and they grudges. We was something turned to nothing. And now we nothing's turned to something. Reincarnation of ancients, fresh up out the oven. This the message to the black man. 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 Shooters on my roof, lawyers in the coop. We can never die, bitch, we bulletproof. This the message to the black man. This the message to the black man. Say you wasn't slaves, you was prisoners of war. You stop wasting your time, these other bitches ain't important. You ain't meditating, you ain't mating with the sauce. Like what the fuck's a noodle if you ain't painted with the sauce? I find it hard to trust the pastor who rather side with the master who preaching we should submit while getting murdered and captured. About how we should wait on God is never our vernacular. They get
See my life has been in motion. I'm a little windy. I'm not giving up yet. If you with me, time to place up your bet. Ain't no turning back, got niggas who ran. When we caught his ass, got caught in that jam. Yeah, you know who I am. Yeah, you know who I am. I can feel it coming. I can feel it coming. It's that feeling in your stomach, you can feel it coming. It's that feeling in your stomach, you can feel it coming. Yeah, you can feel it coming. Fake love, that snake you in your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it, that's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God wrote it. Too much fake love, that snake you in your face, love. Your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it, that's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God wrote it. Too much fake love, that snake you in your face, love. Your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it, that's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God wrote it.
Suave on the track.
Whatever it takes. Alleyway.
Coco, this your season right now.
They won't see me. They won't let me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I put attention, all of my blood, all of my veins. They started with perky, now that hair right up his veins. You started with serving, now them drugs drove you insane. Started with dealing, I grew up with killers, they taught me the game. I got some niggas that die behind, and that shit won't never the same. I know some niggas that lie behind, and that bullet had his name. Ain't no reason to cry about, cause that shit won't never change. MTF the 4th and P, my niggas can't get out the game. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah.
Lost, see, I glossed too, we shit ain't been the same. Heard the ops talking to the
Yo, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Peace and blessings to all American Aborigines, man. It's your brother, Aboriginal Power. We live with another Wake and Bake show, man. Hopefully everybody's having a great grand rising. Hopefully everybody's having a great start to their day. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We only got 28 people in here. Let's get the live. Let's get the live stream up a little bit. Let's share the live stream a little more, man. Let's get some more likes in the building. Let's get a few more people to share it. Also want to shout out to everybody that's tuning in that's not able to comment in the chat section. Peace and blessings to you guys. Hopefully y'all having a great grand rising. Like I said, hit that like button. Be safe on your daily commute. I also want to take the time out to shout out some of the brothers and sisters that's in the chat. So that's what I'm about to do. Let's get to it. Shout out to Helena Oliver. Shout out to Eastside 1415. Shout out to Manguza. Top of the morning to my cousin, Mr. Aboriginal Smith. Shout out to the beautiful elder, Gretchen Hams. I'm glad you caught one of these early morning lives, you know what I'm saying, from the giddy up. Shout out to Bartholomew. Shout out to Frank Burton. Shout out to Chief Kokomo. Shout out to everybody in the building. That's it. Snake God. Shout out to Snake God in the building. Shout out to Lurel Grassroots in the building. Hey, man, this is the motherfucking Wake and Bake show, man. Let me light up one of these woods. You know, we got one to start the day off with. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody in the building. I want to allow some more people to get off in the building before we get started. Ooh, this shit hot. Ooh, that shit hot than a bitch. All righty. How y'all feeling out there, man? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Y'all ready to get into it? I just want to chop it up with y'all, man. You know what I mean? This is my 31st day of consecutive live streaming. So hopefully y'all are enjoying it right now as we speak. This is my 31st day, like I said, in consecutively live streaming. So we want to make sure we putting that all in in the motion as well. Trying to fix my camera. All right. Oh, this is my 33rd. This is my 33rd live stream and my 31st day consecutively. Sorry. Shout out to Gretchen House for correcting your boy. Hey, man, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I need y'all to drop them fire emojis in the chat. Let's get up to 40 likes. Y'all get up to 40 likes, I'm lighting up my backwood. Right now, I'm about to light up the rest of this little raw cone I was smoking on. When we get enough likes, I'm lighting up the wood. We're going to light up the wood in just a second, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. How y'all feeling out there? Y'all been liking the information? I got a nice bill lined up for you guys, man. We're going to get into the Tariqnasheed and Uncle Luke debate, man. Y'all ready for that? If y'all ready for that, you're going to drop them fire emojis in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Go on, drop them fire emojis if y'all ready to see this conversation, this debate, if you will. Then I got some bonus shit lined up for you guys right after that. I don't see no fire emojis. No fire emojis. I need to put on the I got some. Put on some daydreaming music for you guys so y'all can get into the nice little vibe of things, man. This Aboriginal Power Wake and Bake Show, man. I want y'all to be tuned in. I know it's still early in the morning. I normally don't do live streams this early no more. I like to give people time to get their ass up.
We're the Dire Straits of foundational Black Americans right now, and we have to have the tangibles that we're supposed to get.
Let me ask you. And I asked the same question to another young man on here. Have you guys lobbied Congress and the Senate on the check? Have you had sat down and met with these people? If so, tell us some of the people you met with.
We've been dealing with the California reparations form out here. We've been very active with that. We were the ones who got them to designate that the reparations is going to be lineage based. So we are extremely active with the reparations committee out here in California. You had our good brother like Ice Cube wanting to meet with Biden to talk about tangibles for foundational Black Americans. And Biden said that they would do a meeting with them, but they never did it. So the Democrats are playing these types of games, and we're letting them know we're not going to support you if you want to play these little hide and seek games when it comes to giving us something. We just had a bunch of Black people killed in Buffalo, and in the response, Biden invited a bunch of Asians to the White hide and seek games. When it comes to giving us something, we just had a bunch of Black people killed in Buffalo, and in the response, Biden invited a bunch of Asians to the White House to talk about an Asian hate crime bill.
Are we good? Mic check. Can y'all hear me? My sound still sound muffled? What the fuck is that? Do I still sound muffled? The fuck is going on, man? Oh man, see, they be playing with my shit, gangster. Come on, man. Let's drop the fire emoji if I'm sounding back regular again, man. Fuck the muffled sounds, man. If I'm muffled, let me know. I don't want to be muffled. You know what I mean? I don't want to be better. I want that shit to be crystal clear, man. Shit. I want that shit to be crystal motherfucking clear, man. All right, man. Let's get it cracking, man. Let's see what's up.
Without doing that with black people,
clear
that
right
type
now?
of benign neglect policy, we can't go for
clear?
anymore. They've been doing this.
Is that in? I not to cut you off, but it.
So I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I made $49,000 in the last 30 days.
We know you're not the smartest, nigga. Stupid ass honky. Hey, so y'all can hear me? We good? We back lit? We back lit? Oh, we back lit. All right, we back lit. Let's go.
Right. Is that in it? I not to cut you off, but it's obvious. People hear your message. You know, I didn't know you until Twitter, and once we got on Twitter, a lot of people know you. You're very influential young man and very powerful. You got a group of people that are very active, and they're for the cause. And not only do these people are aware of your movement. They're aware of the people that are affiliated with.
Uncle Luke sound like he said, you seem like a knowledgeable young man. You got a group with you. Uncle Luke don't know nothing but go on, girl, and shake that booty, tutti frutti, you know, all that little freaky ass music from back in the day. Shout out to Uncle Luke. Go on, Doodle Brown, you know what I'm saying? All that bullshit. Shout out to Uncle Luke, man. That nigga don't know what's going on in days. Hey, shout out to my nigga though. Shout out to Lou Will. Shout out to Pink Shay Pink 40, Paul Sharp, Mike Jones, Shamel Thompson. I'll be fucking up everybody's name. Damn. I'm worse than Smack. Big O. Enox, FOBENT. Notorsha. What's going on with it? Hopefully everybody good. You know what I mean? Y'all like that Uncle Luke music? Y'all be like, come on, girl, and shake that booty.
People are aware. These people are aware of your movement. They're aware of the people that are affiliated with what you guys are fighting for. I'm just trying to figure out, I would think, you would go to Capitol Hill and sit down in their face, because it ain't like you don't sound like those scared dudes. Like,
right.
Go sit down with them and say, hey, look here, man, this is what we want. This is what we want. And if you don't give us what we want, then when it's time for your ass to run.
No matter how much we got to appreciate Uncle Luke, it's just like when you're not from America and you're a foreigner or what we call a tether or a buffer class of people, you just don't get what we're trying to say. You got to literally walk in our shoes, and a lot of you guys try to emulate us and blend in with us, but can't walk in our shoes, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody, but Uncle Luke, foreigner, ways is going to come out in this conversation. Let's continue.
In 2 years, then we gonna motivate. Ain't like you don't sound like those scared dudes. Like,
right.
Go sit down with them and say, hey, look here, man, this is what we want. This is what we want. And if you don't give us what we want, then when it's time for your ass to run in 2 years, then we gonna mobilize and get you out.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing in October. We're actually going to Washington, D.C. this October. We got a big rally that we're planning right now, and we're going to put it all on the line. We need something specific for us. We're going to need a hate crime bill specific for us. We're going to need something done about this homeless problem, especially out here in places like California and other places that's affecting foundational Black Americans. And we're going to put it on the line and let them know exactly what we need. We're going to have to get them to do something about all of these white supremacist groups within law enforcement, especially in Democrat-run cities. That's the problem. We're voting for all of these Democrats to come in, but all of these police killings with all of these crazy white supremacists working in law enforcement, these are done in primarily Democrat-run cities. So we can't keep voting for our own demise. So we're letting these people know we cannot keep supporting you, continue to support you if you're not doing anything as we keep voting and holding you up. I don't want to hear about a Green New Deal and some Flint water and all of that, because we're being gunned down and mowed down out here. We need our Democrats, especially them, because we've been supporting them for the last 60 years. We really need them to get busy and do what they need to do and do what they're supposed to do for their main voting bloc, which is us, foundational Black Americans.
But you guys are voting this cycle. So let me just a quick one, Steve. So you're going in October. You're gonna meet with all 400 and some more Congress folks and those 100 senators. You're gonna go up there and meet with them. Is it a wrap? You're going to meet with them and tell them basically this is what we want. This is our platform.
Well, we're going to go to Washington, D.C. If they want to meet up, that's fine, but we're still going to go up there. We're not going to book a formal meeting, but we're going to have the media out there, and we're going to have the grassroots mobilized out there in Washington, D.C., and get all eyes on the streets to let them know what the message is. Because whenever we have protests out here, what the Democrats will do, they will send in controlled opposition, and they will exploit the deaths of Black people. So when a Black person gets killed, they will send some Democratic shills out there to talk about the death for 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden they start talking about, well, Black trans are dying too, and what about immigrants? And then
and a lot of these Black people that get out on these political forefronts and speak on our dire situation are often not even our people. These are foreign tethers. These are people that's not from North America. They're not from here. They didn't grow up in these situations. They don't have lineage that's tied to these historical situations, which is why we're having these conversations now. So they're not emotionally attached to it. So they get in spewing and pushing their own agendas often. So, we got to watch out for that as well.
Turns into something else. So we don't want any more controlled opposition. We don't want any more Democratic shills. We don't want right-wing shills, because I'm not a right-winger. I'm not down with the Republicans either. I'm nonpartisan. I'm all about tangibles for my people, foundational Black Americans, and in extension, our brothers and sisters from the diaspora, because I'm not dumping on them, but we have to prioritize foundational Black Americans. I don't believe anybody who's an immigrant should show any disrespect to a foundational Black American, because if it were not for us fighting to get them here, they would not be here. White.
That's a fact. And that goes for all immigrants. And that's why the conversation was really needed to be had yesterday and being paired yesterday with the Pakistani brother that was on the panel yesterday with me, Chief, and Unconscious one was on yesterday. That conversation with the Pakistani brother needed to be had because we wanted them to show their true vitriol towards us. These people come here and sell us poison with no regard. They constantly take money out of our community with no hesitation. And these are the things that we have to talk about. These are positions that we should be in. We shouldn't have no problem opening up a Black-owned tobacco store, a Black-owned hair store, a Black-owned beauty supply store, because these are the things that they are coming into our community often offering to our people. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to all the American Aborigines in the chat. Make sure y'all hit that like button, thumb up the video. Let's try to get 100 people in here before the 30-minute mark. Let's continue the live stream.
People didn't want Black immigrants over here at no point. It was foundational Black Americans in the early 1900s and in 1965 and 64 really stomping the streets, getting their heads bashed in to get brothers and sisters from the diaspora to come over here to be.
Right, 1965, you got the riots that happened. You see what I'm saying? That's mentioned in the 1968 Civil Rights Act. You see what I'm saying? That Martin Luther King mentions about. You see what I'm saying? Well, our people really went through a lot of dire work to get these positions that you see.
Hey, peace.
Go ahead, Brother Thompson. When you got the flow.
Peace to the gods, peace to the goddesses, peace to the Aborigines, North, South, Central, and for joining Islands. Hey, look, I beg a differ on that. We ain't rallying to get nobody over here. What got people over here was the Hart-Celler Act of 1965. You pull that up, pull up the Hart-Celler Act when you get a chance. I mean, just to add to what he's saying to kind of refute what Tariqnasheed saying. The Hart-Celler Act of 1965, what happened was they the one who started the import of non-European countries to allow other people over here. You understand what I'm saying?
Who had voted on that particular cause? Was we?
Nah, we ain't vote for none of that shit, bro. We ain't never want nobody to come over here. We ain't never want nobody to come over here. We ain't never want nobody to come over. We had our own people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what he's saying is, I mean, like I said, we're not gonna agree with everything he says. So let's just get that clear right now. But what I'm saying is, the Hart-Celler Act of 1965, Negroes ain't know nothing about none of this stuff.
Let's pull it
You
up.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
No, I'm letting you speak, bro. I'm just pulling this Hart-Celler Act while you speak.
Yeah, pull that shit up, bro. That shit shows you we ain't never want nothing. We ain't never want. I'm not saying that we wouldn't join forces with them or greet them like their brothers and sisters, but to rally for somebody else to come here and get benefit. Remember, understand this, bro. Regardless of what we understand about the civil rights movement, right? First of all, the civil rights movement, Martin Luther King was working for the Rockefellers, number one. That's the reason why they wanted us to integrate, because when we were segregated, we the ones with all the skills. We had our own everything. We had our own football team, baseball team, basketball team, and we was united because the Negro League did exceed just North America. It did go into like the Caribbean, like, you know, if you look, you'll see the Cubans was part of the Negro League, and then I think Puerto Rico, and I think it was another country. Now, I'm not going to say that, you know, we had some alliance with just black people around the world, but most of us that's living inside these communities, we don't know nothing about, like, you know, black immigrants from other countries, unless we really did the real research to find out about this shit. And I doubt it at the same time when we was kind of being oppressed. You know what I'm saying? Now, this shit is twofold. So understand, it's kind of twofold, even with the integration or the Civil Rights Act. That's kind of twofold. You know what I'm saying? Some people think, oh, well, we integrated, now they should give us the same right. No, we already had our own shit, and by us integrating, they put us into a trap. They trapped us, because now we got to be relying upon them. When we was in the South and we was in our own neighborhood, we wasn't relying upon none of these kids. That's the reason why they tricked us to get us out of our own towns and cities, to integrate with them. And then once we integrated with them, we became reliant upon them, and we needed them for jobs and shit like that. Because I tell you like this, in the North, on the Northeast coast, like, it's not the same as it is in the South. You can't farm everywhere. You can't have your own farm. You can't. You be living in a concrete jungle. Niggas living in buildings. Where the fuck you gonna have a farm at? It ain't too much open land out here.
And not all the land is fertilized and colonized. You know what I'm saying? Even areas like in Staten Island, you know, in the early 1800s, that they saw it wasn't colonized. They had to import manure or fertilizer or horse shit to fertilize the land in Staten Island. You see what I'm saying? Right to the growth. So there's certain methods that you have to take, you feel me, to start your process of agriculture, irrigation, and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? But like you said, that Hart-Celler Act is a dope thing right there. I hope y'all can see it on the screen one more time before we go. I'll let y'all look at that, and then we proceed this conversation.
A lot of people don't even know about the Hart-Celler Act. But the whole thing about it is they brought in Martin Luther King, which at first he thought he was doing something good, but I don't know why, because where we lived at in all of these places, we was already self-sufficient. We already had everything. So why the fuck would we need to integrate? That's the whole thing with the Jackie Robinson thing. People look at Jackie Robinson like a hero, but other people look at Jackie Robinson like a fucking sellout.
Yeah, because he left the Negro League, which brought all the attention to the Negro League, and he sold out, bringing more attention to the white people leagues, who was dwindling down. You see what I'm saying? If he would have held out, Negro leagues would have been the main sport of baseball today. It wouldn't be no Major Leagues Association. You know what I'm saying? Major League, you know what I'm saying? Baseball.
And they wasn't the best. Like, they wasn't the best player. We already know. When you look at Shaquille Page was fucking 60 years old, man. Still throwing 100 miles an hour fastballs, my dude. You understand what I'm saying?
That's
same thing with Josh.
Crazy.
And Josh Gibson.
How old?
He was 60 years old, still throwing 100 miles an hour fastball.
60 years old, still throwing a fastball.
Yeah, he was still curveball, splitters. He was the man. Like if you look, Satchel Paige was the man. But see, because he didn't play for the major leagues, then his so-called his so-called things that he done is not being properly recognized. But understand it, imagine this, that's better competition. The Negro League had better competition, my dude. Even when you get to Josh Gibson they say he hit 1,200 home runs, man.
Right.
12 fucking 100 home runs against elite
Why don't they talk about him? It's crazy.
Exactly. Against elite competition. You understand what I'm saying? Elite. Primo. Mira.
You good, A1? What you doing? Jacking up a car?
No, I'm getting extremely tired. But yeah. But like I said, Josh Gibson hit 1,200 home runs. And like I said, we had everything. That's why I say, like, you know, we do this Build of American Gods Part 3. You know, hopefully we can get at least 50 people to attend this or whatever, this pay-per-view joint.
Hey, by show fire emojis, how many of y'all gonna attend the pay-per-view that me and A1 got putting together, man? It's called American Gods. Y'all gonna want to tune into this, man. It's pay-per-view. Gonna be a lot of information, a lot of primaries, a lot of visuals to go with a lot of stuff that you already have, man. Just to add on top of this, a lot of information that y'all been asking for. So, man, how many of y'all by show of fire emojis is gonna be? You know what I mean?
And if I got time tonight, because I got a bunch of shit pulled up, you know, a brother, he posed a question. Hey, my dude. Hey, can I get a little air? I paid him right here on this tire, the driver's side.
Easy, yo.
Listen, a brother that's in this community posed a question about he don't believe Aborigines went and this is what I got out of it. He's saying that the buildings and stuff over in Europe like are the same as the Americas. Hey, I don't know what his thought pattern is with that. So the buildings the same as they are in Europe as they are in America. So are you still suggesting that Europeans came here and built these buildings, or Black Europeans or Moors, etc.? Are you still saying that they left from Iberia, because Europe is Iberia? So they left from Iberia and came over here and built all these buildings, the same buildings you see. Just like they said Montezuma. They said when they came to Tenochtitlan, they said Tenochtitlan looked like the Garden of Valencia in the spring, because the Andalusian Empire was the empire that ran the fucking world. And it's like, oh, well, my grandmother didn't tell me about no Andalusia, but A1 is telling you. A1 is telling you. A1 did the further research to show and prove and tell you that this thing is real and this thing really existed. But see, people can't look outside of that. People looking at these Native Americans thinking that this is your culture. None of that shit is. I don't even think we was wearing no motherfucking moccasins at this point in time.
Right. I mean, what we were leather skins when we got rubber and cloth and silk made from the corn. Corn, first of all, when I highlight what you can do with corn, it's gonna be amazing. Y'all gonna want to be in on this live stream, man. I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be one of the ones.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like they don't understand that because they didn't do the proper research. They still, like I said, man, genealogy is very important. You know, don't let nobody tell you you're a Black European or you do your genealogy or you got and it's that whole narrative is being led by a motherfucking mestizo from you know what I'm saying, from Costa Rica. You know what I'm saying? He's the one who created that. None of the other people who did genealogy said anything about that. But because you see in logs where you see people coming in who thanks, Primo. You see people coming in who got the same names or the same surnames, then you kind of doing the same trickeroony that they doing with the Ancestry.com and just connecting themselves to anybody. just connecting itself to anybody. So, like I said, at the end of the day, we built this shit. We the gods. The science of the Americas is the science that runs the world. The science of the Americas is the science that exceeds and went all out throughout the other countries in the world.
The pay-per-view, y'all. I know y'all wondering when the pay-per-view is going to be. It's going to be not this Sunday, but the following Sunday coming up. So not tomorrow, but next Sunday, the pay-per-view will be aired. Man, y'all going to want to be some fire information. And like I said, we taking a lot of time out of our day to put together this information and make sure that the forum is right. It's formatted right. Because what we want to highlight throughout this build is the technological advances and feats that American Aborigines invented and that they took on the road potentially. So we're gonna highlight all that, man. It's gonna be a dope. It's gonna be a dope life.
We already got enough evidence what we did. We got a whole encyclopedia along with other resources that we cross-reference with that material or whatever. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, y'all always talk about the American Indian Encyclopedia," because the American Encyclopedia is very very important to your evolution and understanding exactly what your people was doing and what they was not doing. You understand what I'm saying? None of the stuff that listen, American, you see the Native American, Native Americans don't fix no cars. Native Americans don't make moonshine.
Hey, that's funny as fuck. I've never seen a Native American mechanic nor a Native American moonshiner. That's crazy.
Exactly. Or carpenter, or electrician, or plumbers. Like I said, ain't no white man teaching it. These are skills that you.
I've never even seen a Mexican play soccer like. I've never even seen a Native American play soccer like some of these Mexicans is. That's they cool.
You already know some of them are deemed Native Americans or whatever. But however it go, you know, the science that you see that your people built, and you know what I'm saying, and all the science, like when you everything in your refrigerator, everything in your everything in your
Hey,
kitchen.
you know what's funny is I've never even seen a Native American doctor.
Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Have y'all?
And, you know, this shit is twofold. When you come into this shit and they be like, you're Indian, now you kind of lost because now you're trying to find out what was your culture. Your culture is what your culture is now. Even though your grandmother told you was an Indian, she ain't never wear a war bonnet. She ain't never wear a war bonnet. She did everything that you see your family doing is indigenous, is the things that the indigenous people or the Aborigines or the Tontons was doing here in the Amaru. So you gotta understand that we ain't them people. We ain't none of that shit. Like I know it was cute, and like I said, you know, me myself, I was a victim of that, showing Black Native Americans with tribal gear on and all this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? That ain't our culture. I'm sorry, and we all was wrong about that. That was an observation. Once that you get the understanding that you are indigenous, but none of that shit is us. So even when we show Black Native Americans or Black so-called Indians with this tribal shit on, that ain't us. That might be somebody that descended from one of us, you understand, that may have mixed and may have left the towns and the cities where we was at to go be with them. But at the end of the day, that ain't the majority of what we are. You know what I'm saying?
Once you get into the history and some of our accomplishments, right, A1, you'll understand that, and like we both understand that there's not a word that that describes who we are when it comes to what we have done. You know what I'm saying? There's no word that can measure our accomplishments, that can add to our power and our endurance. So, you know, all these words fall short to who we are. You see what I'm saying? We just use the ones that best describes who we are. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say the American Indian Encyclopedia, 15,000 years of invention and innovation is probably a book y'all heard us reference. Some of y'all maybe even seen us go through the whole book, but some of y'all haven't. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all are new. Some of y'all don't have a clue what the American Indian Encyclopedia is. Most of y'all don't have a clue what your ancient culture is and how you still mimic some of your culture today, even though it's trying to be deprived from you.
It's subconsciously embedded in you.
It's passed down from genetics to genetics to genetics from memory, from genetic memory to cellular memory, and then it comes to you as what we call natural instinct.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. And it's like, you know, as we start to evolve as historians, okay, I'm not a historian because historian is his story.
Yeah, I'm a
I'm a mis- That's
yeah.
right. It's my story, which is misstory. So you know what I'm saying? So I'm a mistorian. You know what I'm saying? So as a mistorian of the person or the individuals who are trying to revamp our history and trying to go back and look at the cultures and look at the civilizations and you know what I'm saying, kind of put ourselves in the, and try to put ourselves into them shoes. At the end of the day, man, we got to do better as people. We got to understand what is and what's not us, man. And a lot of people, they're confused out here. They just teaching and stuff. They just reading articles. Listen, I used to do the same shit. When I used to find bills, I used to research articles and pull up articles, but I always cross-reference it. I always challenge the information. I would never, thank you. I would never agree entirely with what I'm reading. I would just take the stuff that the stuff that is apparent to what we was doing and take that and cross-reference that with other material. So a lot of people
Absolutely.
they just take information with the information that they take. They read it and read it verbatim and they think that read it verbatim and they think that okay, because somebody wrote this and put this in an article, then this is history. This is the truth. Nah, Money Grip, it's not. Because who
Let me
wrote it?
Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat too, man. We got 126 in here, man. I appreciate it if everybody hit the like button and share the live stream on all your social media outlets. Let's try to get 200 people in this live stream. Hey, if you ain't supported the channel yet, make sure you support the channel. Cash App and PayPal information is at the bottom of the screen. I do want to take a shout out Amanda Smith. She said, for this son, oh my bad. Shout out to my boy Son Baby. He said, "What about that Titanic bill?" I might even do it for y'all tomorrow, man. I might try to formulate it for either tomorrow or Monday and put together that Titanic bill. But that's a heavyweight jam, though. You see what I'm saying? Like that's a whole nother pay-per-view, low key. I'm not even gonna lie to you, especially when you get into the Carnegies and then you get into the Vanderbilts and then you understand that they became DuPonts later on in marriage. They became Morgans and Morgansons in marriage, and then you'll understand how they kind of took over the infrastructure, setting up in Delaware, making the money filter for these banking companies. And we know who's running these banking companies. We know who's running these oil companies, these experimental companies. Did y'all know the DuPont and JP Morgan own an experimental factory where they experimenting on shit in Delaware? Did y'all know that? Yeah, these motherfuckers in cahoots, man. And right on that land, you know what I seen on that land that they got the experimental factory at? I seen a fucking castle with a tower and a dome on it. These bitches got some shit over there. I'm trying to tell y'all. This is real facts. If y'all looked at my Instagram yesterday, I showed y'all yesterday the mounds off the Delaware River. I showed y'all the old castle, and you see the doors and the brick columns that's still hooked up to the gate. You understand me? And they in this building, which is an old historic hospital, made a solid brick, 5 layers, sitting on top of a mound. Who the fuck builds a cemetery / hospital on top of a mound 5 levels high out of brick built in the late 1800s? That don't make no sense, man. That don't make no sense. Let's get back to this Uncle Luke convo, man. Let's get it, though. Shout out to everybody in the chat, by the way. Hit that like button.
Reinforcements for us because we wanted another Marcus Garvey and more Stokes. Black Americans in the early 1900s and in 1965 and 64, really stomping the streets, getting their heads bashed in to get brothers and sisters from the diaspora to come over here to be reinforcements for us, because we wanted another Marcus Garvey and more Stokely Carmichaels over here. Unfortunately, the white supremacists got in front of it, and now what they do is send over the Candace Owens and all of the other Sambos that come and join the white supremacists against us. So that's what we also have a problem with. So we're just getting some straightening to figure out who's on team Black empowerment, who's going to support us, and who's going to reinforce us like we've reinforced and supported them.
By calling them tethers?
Yes, by calling them tethers. Absolutely.
Hey, Tariq,
good luck with that strategy.
Uh-huh. Well, hey,
what
are they going to do about it?
Well,
it ain't enough for y'all to stop it. So
okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay, let's stay here.
Hey, Tariq, I have a question for you, because I think that
was a foreigner getting mad. You see, Uncle Luke had a goddamn step in for a little second. Yeah, we got Uncle Luke as the moderator.
Goddamn. From a policy perspective, many of us can agree with some of the things that you're speaking of, right? The police violence and things that can be better in our communities. And this is our first time having a conversation. So I live here in Florida, and I am a Democratic Party strategist. Okay. So this cycle, I have my portfolio includes 68 candidates running across Florida for various seats, from school board to the governor's mansion, right? And including congressional candidates also. And our primary here in Florida is in August. So right now we are in what I call the messaging platform, right? We're going into media, Black media, on radio, Black radio, and putting up TV ads or negotiating those contracts. And from a data perspective, I'll share with you, a lot of the items in this conversation are not on the, top 10 reasons for people to get out and vote. And I think particularly it's because there are no conversations being had with the elected officials. Like, I applaud you guys for, organizing and planning to go to DC. I would also encourage you, as Luke was saying, to sit down and have these conversations with the elected officials that represent you in your home communities and are going to be present in DC as well. The reason being is because a lot of these campaigns are built off of data, and a lot of that data comes from grassroots messaging. And if we're not having the conversation with those that are in power to represent us, then, we're doing a lot of stuff for naught. And like I said, a lot of things that you brought up, many of us agree with. But if we're not having the conversations with those that are elected, then we are giving them a pass to say, oh, I don't know about this, or this is not an issue, or, as the young man was saying earlier, to, kind of be talked down to, like, oh, young man, go do some research or what have you. So
Google Fi, a phone plan by Google. Fi has unlimited plans that fit your data usage. Simply Unlimited is our most affordable.
These motherfuckers always throwing in them commercials, boy. I told them one day I'm gonna play them for y'all and let y'all get y'all little money in, but y'all gonna have to monetize the big dog channel before I play any one of y'all goddamn commercials. Facts. Period.
When you're going to DC, I would just ask, because I have clients that, work in DC, have these meetings, have these conversations, because if nothing else, at least the dialogue puts it on their radar. And then as you're organizing in communities and the data starts to present, there is a movement behind these legislative issues, that it becomes more populous and more on the radar, and we can possibly get candidates to run on the same platforms and actually elect people who are going to do the work.
Yeah. Now, I will say that these elected officials, they are fully aware of what we want, and they know exactly what we talk about. As you know, they have data research specialists that sit online and literally monitor the vibes and the moods and the language and some of the trends that go on with these conversations. They are fully aware of who we are. They are fully aware of what we want. And the name of the game for them is to continue the benign neglect policy by promising us nothing, but still getting us to vote. When they had the Black Lives Matter thing popping off some years back, there was a memo that was leaked. WikiLeaks leaked that memo from the DNC sending out talking points. And one of the talking points was talk to some of the Black Lives Matter activists, but make sure to not promise anything. Just listen to them and let them speak, but do not promise anything tangible. Do not promise any type of money or any type of resource. So that's the game they like to play. They want to talk and have these little listening sessions. I don't want to have a listening session. I want to have a check writing session. I want my check. We need money. They didn't have a listening section with Asians. They start giving them money and tangibles. They're not having listening sessions with some of the Hispanic families that were caught on the border. They start giving them money out here in California where I live. They're giving them all types of food, all types of financial resources, free medical resources that they don't give us. They're not talking about anything. They're just.
I even seen some from one of the homies, man. They said he was traveling. He said he seen a gang of them on a Greyhound, getting free food, getting all kind of assistance all the way up the coast. They got little interpreters at little stops helping them out. Yeah, they be pandering to these other motherfucking groups.
Just doing it. So this benign neglect policy, where we as Black people, if we have to get something, we got to just continue to spin our wheels and talk and sing and dance. That's over. They need to start writing them checks to us, or we will not vote for them, and we'll start a whole different political party if need be.
So I hear what you're saying.
You've been a reparationist for what, 5 years?
I don't even know what that means. Reparations for 5 years. What are you talking about, sir?
I said you've been in the reparation space for what, 5 years?
No, a decade. If you go back to some of my tweets going back a decade, I've been talking about it. You go pull up an interview I did on the Breakfast Club in 2016, I've been talking about reparations. I've been talking about reparations. I've been ahead of this thing a long time, brother. You go to my movies, the Hidden Colors films that I did decades ago, or a decade ago, we were talking about one of the solutions being reparations. I've been on this wave, sir. This is not new at all for me.
Well, you were Pan-Africanist first. Come on now.
I respect my African brothers and sisters because I have African genetics, sir. I haven't denied being a person of African descent. I am also a foundation.
See, that's where he confuses the whole game. Like, you might be a motherfucking African genetically, but don't say that the Africans came here and then they met up with Aboriginals. Don't try to say that the Aboriginals here are motherfucking African genetics, man. We don't have no African genetics, man. Like, you need to cut that shit out, Tariq. Like, you be riding the motherfucking fence, gang, and you be trying to throw up Aboriginals because you know it's really the haymaker punch that's gonna knock anybody out of the conversation because they don't know how to angle it, and then you gonna go right back to Africa. Nah, bro. That's why niggas don't need to be speaking on Aboriginal unless you been pushing this Aboriginal shit. Fact. Shout out to all the Aborigines in the chat, man. And shout out to my FBA brothers and sisters, man. Because we pushing a real nation, man. Black is just a social construct to keep you down mentally. Yeah, I got a few shits attached to it, but when we talk about foundational, we talking about the Aboriginal American. That's FAA. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Drop them fire emoji.
Black American, which makes me a very unique person, and I respect and honor my ancestral lineage. What's wrong with that, sir?
You ain't have to call them feathers. But I'll let it go. Go ahead, Nick.
So Tariq, I'll just share with you real quick because like I said, we were running this data, and I can only speak for Florida, right? That's where I'm at, and so in percentage of our voters here, and the issues that are on the ballot in our state right now, right? Housing is number one. That's an issue in our state. The cost of insurance is number 2. Food insecurity is number 3. These are the issues that voters are saying that are their priorities for this midterm election. Healthcare, infrastructure, public safety, environment, and they're broken down 1, 2, 3% here and there for a few other issues, and that's so I can tell you in my state these are the issues that elected officials are going to be running on. They're going to be talking about the cost of housing, insurance, food insecurity, healthcare, infrastructure, public safety, environment. But there will be no dialogue in Florida around reparations.
Okay.
Not this cycle.
And here's the thing: there's not no popularity. The whole LGBT thing, a lot of people are actually against that. A lot of people don't like a lot of the LGBT stuff being promoted on Netflix and Disney. Down in Florida, in Disneyland, there's LGBT flags all over the place. And I know a lot of people in Florida are just not with that. But they still get legislation passed for LGBT people. They still get tangibles passed for LGBT groups, even though I would say most people are against it. So if most people are against something, that's not going to stop us from still campaigning and stumping for what we deserve and what we're supposed to get. Anti-Black racism is a very popular thing. We have a choice to go along with it or not go along with it. I'm not going along with it, and neither are some of our other brothers and sisters, just because they've tried to normalize that. We have to change the cultural lexicon of this anti-Black benign neglect policy that's been going on, where we're supposed to be an invisible group who don't get anything and everybody is prioritized over us. We're stopping that right now because we don't have time to wait anymore. So respect to what you do down there. That's a great thing, doing the data and getting all the research together. But we are going to stick to our guns and say,
shout out to Cameron, man. Shout out to Cameron for the Cash App donation, man. We appreciate all the support. Shout out to Cameron for supporting the channel. Shout out to brother Cameron, man. Hey, make sure y'all support the channel, man. Don't let Cameron be the only one support the channel today, man. It's the 33rd live stream within 31 days, man. So listen, we on the streak right now. Shout out to the American Aborigines, man, for keep doing what y'all doing, keeping the energies up, pushing the information, sharing the live streams, hitting the like button, man. We appreciate that. If you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You're going to want to hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Thumb up the video, man. Thumb up the video. Make sure y'all support the channel, man. Make sure y'all what's going on?
All right, listen, right? All right, so see, that's the mind state of a Democrat. They want more privileges. They don't want to be self-sufficient. Nigga, cut that check, and we could do all of the stuff that's on that list. We could be able to provide for ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? We don't need no benefits from the state, because if the state if the system fell, then guess what? All of the benefits and privileges they gave you, you ain't gonna have. So it's about being self-sufficient and knowing how to use the financial system and how to use federal government in order to get what you want. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, I would hope that Tariqnasheed at least will bring up the fact that we know that we Indians or Aboriginals. I hope he will at least bring that fact up as opposed to just going down. Like I said, see, that whole African thing, see, the whole debunking thing got to come with the slave trade. Once you push that slave trade shit out, and once you understand who was the slave trade and who wasn't the slave trade, then that puts you in a different mind state. And you say, wait a minute, so my people ain't never come from that. My people was already here, always here. You see what I'm saying? A lot of them, they kind of straddle the fence with this Africans mixed with Indians. Oh, well, we came here in the 1500s. Nigga, listen, our history is fucking unknown. We don't know how long we've been in the Amaru. We've been here from time of existence, my dude.
Right.
So for him to sit here and keep on saying, that's why, really, I hope he has time. I hope one day that he can come down off his high horse and have a conversation with one of us and allow himself to be taught and not regurgitate all of the history that he done got by educating himself through the system. You see what I'm saying? I mean, he's a very educated brother, but at the end of the day, what good is education if it's false?
Right.
Like you sit there and regurgitate and comprehend lies, and then regurgitate that and then push that out and say the shit verbatim amongst the people. What good is that? You know what I'm saying? What good is that? Like I said, I hope one day that he come off his high horse and he see AP or, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it'd probably be AP or maybe C. He don't want to talk a game, you know what I'm saying? And allow himself to be taught and just sit down and listen and then say, and if this stuff that we saying can be supported by facts, then you ain't got no choice but to change your whole stance on things. Okay, what you're saying being supported by facts, and what we saying being supported by facts. Which one is more beneficial? The shit we saying that's being supported by facts, or what we saying is being supported by facts? You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, you absolutely right. And like I said, it's just a few things that he need to be enlightened on. We're not here to bark down or beef or make niggas listen to our ideology. We just here to insert and correct where it's wrong at. And so if he had this extra insertion when he used the Aboriginal, he'll have a little more confidence in his conversation when he uses the word Aboriginal. When this conversation get brought up, once he get enlightened, right now he's uncomfortable with it. He throws it in randomly. So let's continue the conversation and see what he throws in. You know what I mean? Let's continue the conversation. Tariqnasheed and Uncle Luke, man, the debate. Let's go.
Time to wait anymore. So respect to what you do down there. That's a great thing, doing the data and getting all the research together. But we are going to stick to our guns and say we have to be prioritized as a foundational Black American lineage group.
Can I ask a question about data since Nikki was asking that question? Is that okay?
This is the Wolf Warrior 10. Check out if it's the right scooter for you. The Wolf 10 is actually the smaller brother of the popular Wolf Warrior.
Always got some bullshit ass commercial.
Can I ask a question about data since Nikki was asking that question? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. You, I don't know what your involvement was, but you were promoting the campaigns of the Senate candidate in Georgia and also a congressional candidate in South Carolina.
Yes.
Both of them, one got 4.5% of the vote and the other one got 3.9% of the vote in those states. Both of them ran on the messages, a lot of the messages that you are advertising now. I also work in a data capacity in my job. Our biggest consumer in my job are African Americans and Blacks around the world. I have never had reparations come up in any survey or poll we've ever done, ever come up in a survey or poll of African Americans in this country ever. So I'm wondering why, in your opinion, did Marcel fail so badly in South Carolina and the young woman fail so badly in Georgia? If these are issues that you believe are important to our community, why is it not connecting to our community?
Brother Marcel was only in politics for 6 months, and that was his first time in, and that brother made a phenomenal impact. The signal boosting of the message has been boosted up out there, so he did exactly what he's supposed to do. A lot of times when people run, we understand that there's a slight possibility that they might actually win, but we also know that they're out there to disrupt the message, and that's exactly
so 4% is now considered a success now?
Yes, it is, because the message is out there, and we got the brother out there to spew that message, and the message is out here resonating now. So we got to boost the message around the country. We going up against Clyburn. Clyburn has $1 gazillion behind him, and he's been in politics for 1,000,000 years. Going up against a brother who was in politics for 6 months, and he had these Democrats shook. So that's a win for us. And next
but
time
he also did worse than the other Democrat that ran, and there were 2 Republicans that ran that he also did worse than too. So I'm just trying to understand, if you have this message that you believe connects with Black people, why did the Black Republicans do better than he did? And why did the other Black Democrat that was running, who was also a conservative, also do better than he did?
Because they have white money behind them. They have more money. It's just that simple.
He had more money than the other 3 candidates. So I'm trying to understand, if we're talking about data and we're talking about facts, why did the person who had the second most amount of money in this race and also had the 4th amount of money of any of the people that were challenging an incumbent in South Carolina, why did he come in dead last of all these candidates that challenged him? It's just not computing.
Okay, now, because you're just kind of rambling off random numbers and you kind of lost me.
I'll say it again slower. Of all the candidates that challenged an incumbent, he came dead last in the state. Of the 3 others that ran against Clyburn, another Democrat that ran, and 2 other Republicans, he had 7 times more money than the other 3 combined. Why did he do so well?
Who had 7 times?
Marcel had 7 times more money than the other 3 candidates combined. So why did he do so poorly with a message that you said connects to the Black community? Why did he do so poorly? And why did the young lady in Georgia do poorly too? She actually did better than Marcel. So, why did they do so poorly if this message you're saying connects with voters?
Well, nobody knows who those other people are, but everybody knows who Marcel is.
But they got more votes. Okay, You're saying they know who Marcel
Nationwide,
is, but they got more votes
nationwide,
than Marcel.
nationwide. Yes, more people know who Marcel is. So
Oh, so is
Marcel,
Marcel going to run for president? Because
No.
even running for president, it's on a state by state basis. So I'm trying to understand, how does Marcel getting people?
This is a good conversation. Dude has some good questions, but I think he's trolling a little bit. Shout out to Marcel, by the way. Keep doing your thing, Marcel. Shout out to Vincent Hall for supporting the channel and sending in the Cash App donation. Shout out to Vincent Hall. We appreciate all the support and all the love, man. We appreciate that. Shout out to Vincent Hall in the chat, man. Make sure y'all show him some love. Shout out to Laurel Perkins, aka MT Soul. Shout out to MT Soul, man, for showing some love. Shout out to the brother MT Soul in the chat for showing some love. And shout out to Khadijah Sayang. Shout out to Khadijah Sayang for supporting the channel as well. Shout out to that sister in the chat. We appreciate all the support over here at Aboriginal Power Platform. All the support. We really do appreciate it. Shout out to Khadijah Sayang, MT Souls, and Vincent Hall for the support. Hey, man, make sure y'all hit that like button. Support the channel, man. Hey, we run up them likes, man. We really appreciate all the support. Make sure y'all keep it coming. Support the channel. If y'all want to know, Cash App and PayPal information is at the bottom of the screen, man. Shout out to everybody on the chat. We got my brother A1 on here as well, so we're going to continue this conversation so we can get into the information. Let's go.
So Marcel,
is Marcel going to run for president? Because
No.
even running for president, it's on a state by state basis. So I'm trying to understand, how does Marcel getting people to donate for him or getting people that support him in Brooklyn, or you live in Los Angeles, I know you used to live in Detroit, you used to live in Alabama, you've had a lot of upward mobility, but I'm trying to understand, how does having all these people from all these gentrifying areas help people in Georgia, which is the second blackest state in the country, and South Carolina, which is the sixth most blackest state in the country, and where most black people come from in this country? Why is he unable to connect with black people in black districts and black states?
He is able to connect with them.
He came in dead last.
Doesn't matter out there in South Carolina.
How are you connecting with voters and finishing dead last? I'm confused on that. But I'm going to move on from that. I have one other question. I'm going to be quiet.
No. Slow down, brother, because now you're just doing word salad. All right.
No, I think it was
because he's new in politics. That's why he's new in politics in that local area, and a lot of those people aren't online and they're not checking out what people are doing. But again,
Warnock was new in politics. Warnock was new in politics when he got elected. But my final question: you said that there was nothing. There was nothing done for black protection in regards to a crime and regards to hate crimes. And I just read something recently that
this dude is just babbling. Like, it's irking me. The way he said, like, come on, man, slow your motherfucking little ass down. You little tether.
Again,
Warnock was new in politics. Warnock was new in politics when he got elected. But my final question: you said that there was nothing. There was nothing done for black protection in regards to a crime and regards to hate crimes. And I just read something recently that the person that did the Buffalo shooting was charged with a hate crime. Do you know what bill he was charged under?
What bill, sir, and why does it matter?
No, you said that there wasn't a hate crime bill for black people, and the guy that shot the black people was charged with a hate crime. Do you know what bill he was charged under?
What bill was he charged under?
I think it was the James Byrd Jr. hate crimes bill that was like written to target.
Name the whole bill. Name the whole. No, don't you do that. Name that whole bill. It's not just
James Byrd Jr. and
Matthew Shepard.
Matthew Shepard bill. Yeah.
Right. Name the whole thing. The white LGBT dude.
But the James Byrd was black that was dragged. I mean, do we not care about black people that are lynched?
Okay, stop it. They taxed on James Byrd because they were really putting that bill together for the white LGBT community. But they knew that white LGBT people are not really aggrieved like that. So they had to attach a black person to it. And that bill doesn't really help us like that. This was a white man in Buffalo. That's not nothing to pop your collar about. The dude sat here and confessed to a murder that he did on film. I'm not popping my collar to some damn hate crime bill, and the dude basically confessed. Is that what
so? You think hate crime bills actually stop people from doing hate crimes?
Are you that you're hanging your hat on a crime that was done on film?
I'm just asking you a question. Do you think hate crime bills actually stop people from doing crimes?
You don't.
Hold up. Let me ask Mr. Tariq something.
I'm gonna drop down.
Mr. Tariq, do you see in the near future bringing all these groups together to support the Black agenda? Everybody just gonna do their own thing?
What is a woman?
Can
you tell me that?
Uncle Luke even got tired of that motherfucker. Uncle Luke said, hold on now. We don't want to hear that bullshit. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Make sure you hit that like button, share the live stream.
You're muted, Tariq, if you're talking.
My bad. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Well, I'm a foundational Black American by lineage. So whatever I do, I'm still going to be an FBA. If other groups want to support anything that foundational Black Americans are doing, they're welcome to do so. That's on them. We've always supported all of these other groups, and we're on our ancestral homeland that we built. So we're always going to look out for the best interest of Black people here. That's a given. But other groups, when they come over, are they going to be on our wave? Are they going to try to reinforce us, or are they going to try to get with the dominant society to work against us? So that's a question for people who are non-FBA.
Let me ask you: do you have the numbers to I mean, obviously you said you're not going to meet with congressmen and women in the Senate, and you guys are going to do a rally. Do you have the numbers around the country to actually push the electric to create a bill, to address all your tangibles?
Yeah, we have enough numbers to make a significant impact, just like we did in California. In California, again, with the reparations task force, they were trying to do some trick bag stuff with the reparations task force, and we put our eyes on them, and we forced them to do the right thing as far as having the language correct, as far as giving the tangibles to our lineage and not just making it race-based. Because if you have race-based reparations, that opens the door to white Hispanics, to Asians, and all these other groups, and then it turns into affirmative action, which ultimately undermines foundational Black Americans because everybody else will be prioritized. So we are very, very specific about prioritizing our specific group for tangibles, especially when it pertains to the enslavement of our people. When we talk about reparations, a lot of people try to mix in, well, what about all the racism that other people had to face too? Our reparations claim is not a reparations claim against racism. We're talking about slavery. If we want to do a reparations claim, that can be done later. But we're talking about a specific act that was done to a specific group of people. And that is foundational Black Americans who were descendants of slaves. Now, other immigrant groups, they should support this because this will set a template for them to ultimately get their reparations from the British colonists, from the French that colonized many of the Caribbean islands, and the Spanish who colonized some of those Caribbean places too. So this will open the door and ultimately help them too. So they should support our reparations claim.
Let me ask you, with calling, and I'm guilty of it too. Now I call some people some wild names myself, but we're calling these congressmen and women these names. You think that's gonna get them in the long run to create a bill and sponsor?
Uncle Luke, wild as hell. That nigga forgot what he was gonna say. Oh, that nigga talking about, is it gonna be some worse? I don't even know the damn question this nigga just asked. He just said some old head shit like he's sleepy. His ass about to go to sleep. You forget to take your medicine, Uncle Luke. You forgot that you the motherfucking most explicit songwriter that we ever heard. Come girl and pop that coochie. Come on, Uncle Luke. You know what you used to do, man?
We're calling these congressmen and women these names. You think that's gonna get them in the long run to create a bill and sponsor and co-sponsor and get it passed?
Now, when we're in these Twitter spaces, sometimes it will morph into a roast session, then everybody can get that work. But when we're sitting down having a real conversation about getting some real tangible policies done, we know how to code switch and get our decorum right and get our conversation together and talk like we got some sense. You know, we know how to flip it when it needs to be flipped. Now, in some of these Twitter space rooms, sometimes it can get janky, sometimes it can get intellectual, sometimes it can turn into all-out roast sessions. Everybody can get burned, everybody can get touched. But we understand if we got some serious contenders who are in politics or somebody in a serious position and they want to have a serious conversation, we have no problem doing that.
Who's the spokesperson?
There's no spokesperson. There's several spokespersons. So anybody can be a spokesperson. We just want people who have a reputation within the community of looking out for the best interest of the community and not people who want to just come in and get something for themselves.
So who's going to make that call? When you and Roland going to sit down and talk on one of these platforms?
Lord, yeah, boy. Now Roland, let's be very clear. Roland started on me first a while back because they blamed me for Hillary not getting elected in the midterm some years back because they did some data research and they saw that a lot of people were following me and getting my advice to not vote for Hillary because Hillary and the Clintons have been horrible for Black people. And Roland got on air just really going in on me. And the Democrats, they send their shields down to attack me all the time. They attack me over some stuff with Kamala Harris when she was about to get elected. So,
hold on. Not to cut you off, but
yeah,
shit. If you, I mean, went against Hillary and everybody know you that powerful to not help her get elected, goddamn. Well, they should all be shaking in the boots when you coming, right?
Hey, you know. A lot of them, again, they monitor what I do. And I've heard that some people who work for the DMC, they get little notes and memos about me all the time. They come in my rooms and, you know, they come and try to disrupt. So they know exactly who I am.
But that's why I'm just saying, I can't tell you how to do what you do. But
right.
I think it would, I just think, I mean, if you sit down and have a meeting with the devils and the whatever you want to call them, and you sit there and you say, look here, man, I need, y'all, Congress, you got 2 years,
Google Fi, a phone plan that can. With our flexible plan, only pay for the data you use. Get unlimited call.
Hey, man, while we got this little commercial break right here, man, can we get everybody to hit the like button, thumb up the video, and support the channel? Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I need everybody to thumb up the video and support the channel. If you're enjoying the live stream, man, you enjoy it, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. For those that want to send in the support, Cash App, PayPal information at the bottom of the screen, ticking across. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's continue the live stream, you guys.
And I need, y'all, Congress, you got 2 years. I need you to, do what you do. Where's the check?
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Where the check at now? If you don't get the check now, we gonna mount up against you. And now I can genuinely say it. I met with Congresswoman, man, XYZ, and we told them this is what we need. And now they didn't do that. I'm going back to the community. Hey, look here, man, they gotta go. You feel me? And now at the end of the day, look, we sat down and met with them. Now they can't play like they didn't see the march, or they didn't play like they can see the rally, or they were on vacation and they're not aware of it. No, I sat here and met with you, and we talked about the agenda of our people and the reparation, and just no different than the LGBT. They went out there and they did their little thing with the protests. I understand that, but then they went and they met with all them congressmen and women and say, look, we need our bill passed. Who down and who ain't? Because when we leave the office, don't give me the bullshit. Yeah, look here, you folk represent. Okay, good. I'm gonna mark you down. I'm gonna run into the next office. I'm gonna mark you down and keep it moving.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go out there and rally and we're gonna say we met with y'all. So now, shit, now it's time for you to go. Because I would say that I'm pretty sure it'll be. When you go back to the communities, even if a person ain't with you, they go, hey, look here, man, we met with this man here. And they bullshit us. And then now they got to go do those, better than I do, They have to go do those forums. We showing up at the forum. Hey, look, when it's time to speak in the audience, I met with you last year on reparation, and you ain't did shit. So I'm fucking with this person right here, and that's how they get not elected. That's just my opinion. That's what we do. That's how we do that, and that's what we do down here.
And that's what I hope to do. Exactly. That's exactly what I hope to do. And hopefully we can get that done this year before the election. So we're going to look and see. But we got our sister Teslin in here. I would love to see Teslin. She's a political strategist and she's in the speaker queue. So I want to kind of give the floor to some of the other brothers and sisters to get their voices out there. So I thank everybody for listening and keeping the conversation respectful. And much respect to everybody. Thank you, Brother Luke.
Thank you. I'm glad Stephen kept the conversation respectful. I'm proud of you.
I mean, the man called me a tether, and by his definition, I'm a foundational Black American. So, you know.
Nigga, you a tether. No, I'm just bullshitting. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We're going to continue the live stream. I do want to get into the next set of the bill, man. So before we get into that, man, shout out to y'all in the chat, man. Make sure y'all thumb up the video, man. Support the channel. Got my brother A1 on here, man. We about to get into the information part of this build, man. Y'all gonna really, hopefully, enjoy this motherfucker. I told y'all we're gonna look at South Dakota, so we should file a claim. We're gonna get into that. That's gonna be dope. They like to hide a lot of shit. They like to hide a lot of our history, man. They hide it in plain sight. They put it in movie theaters. They even put it as movie props often. So we're going to get into that part of the build here in just a second. If y'all ready for that, drop them fire emojis in the chat. If y'all are ready, drop those fire emojis in the chat.
I'm going to open up with this little... always be opposition.
Y'all see the live stream, man. Y'all ready? If y'all ready, drop them fire emojis, man. Make sure y'all support the channel. A1, you ready, nigga? No, it's fine. I don't mean to call you no nigga, but shout out to my brother.
No, that's all good. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm in there hustling and puffing in the gym. Yeah, I'm in the gym this morning, y'all. Get your ass up and go do something.
Look, yeah, A1 on y'all fucking ass, nigga. I'm about to go get it in, man. I gotta hit.
Hey, thanks, bro.
Got a 6-mile walk today. I gotta hit in today, man. I'm doing some walking here lately.
Listen, part of it ain't just all about building your mind. You gotta also build your body, because you can't live without your mind and your body go together. So
Right.
you need your arm. You can be like what's the motherfucking quadriplegic? The motherfucker that was in a wheelchair and had to move the wheelchair around with his mouth.
Stephen Hawkins.
Stephen, you could be like Stephen Hawkins, who's very intelligent, but look, Stephen Hawkins' body is depleted. You understand? So when it comes to y'all, get up, work on yourself, work on trying to keep yourself in shape, because you're gonna need to, like the brother Brown Wolf was saying yesterday. It's very important. Even if you just get up, do a walk, even if you just do some calisthenics, even if you just do a cycling class, even if you come in here and do a pretty light workout, get up and do something. Eat right. Be healthy. You know what I'm saying? If you smoke, have the goal to stop smoking. You understand what I'm saying? I used to smoke Newport. I smoked for almost 19 years. So at one point in time, I said enough is enough. It's time to get this shit up. You understand what I'm saying? So at some point in time, we gotta do better, because when your body and your mental is good, then you know what I'm saying? You're a complete individual. So with that being said, go and do your thing, okay?
Nah, we about to get it in, man. I want to shout out to Dre Cobb's Music for supporting the $2 challenge. Shout out to Dre Cobb's Music, and shout out to Tariqnasheed Aries. Shout out to Tariqnasheed Aries for supporting the channel as well, man. We appreciate that support. Shout out to Tariqnasheed Aries and Dre Cobb's Music for supporting the channel. Make sure y'all support the channel. You know what I mean? Don't let them be the only one support the channel, man. Shout out to everybody. The real support the real, man. Let's get into this fire ass information we got, man. Let's go.
I'm so happy with this research and the awakening that it's brought, but it's also a dead end. There will always be
Shout out to
opposition.
Jaguar Olmec in the chat,
We
man. Make sure y'all
in
show
this
my brother
community are the
Jaguar
small
Olmec some love
percentage.
in the chat, man.
I imagine
Show my brother some
most
love.
of us have gone against the grain most of our lives. Some
Drip
people
check.
have entered this community only to attack it, and equally I feel sorry for them, now entering into an even smaller percentage, a small percentage within a small percentage, and using all the same terminology, they end up getting shadow banned too. If I was such a person, I would just make videos for the masses, telling them how wonderful mainstream history is. How wonderful man was with his horse.
Let me make sure my audio working good because it seems like my internet running a little slow. Hey, shout out to Teron Aries and Dre Cobbs once again. I just want to make sure we got that out. Make sure y'all show some love to my brother Jaguar Olmec in the chat. And shout out to my brother Brown Wolf, man. Drip check. And more truth, more lies. Yes, the PayPal information is on the screen as well, ticking across, brother. I appreciate you for asking, man. Shout out to my brother, more truth, more lies. Let's get it, man. Let's get back to the live stream, man. We ain't even get into it yet. Just giving y'all the introduction. Let's go.
And Buggy, all the great things he could do. I would just pat man and history on the back all day long, if I sincerely believed it, like these people seem to. Most of these alternative histories will be put in a small box on this platform and shared with the small percentage. So here's a brewery. Today's video is not about breweries, but somebody shared this in the comments. Of course, this is a brewery. Breweries, but somebody shared this in the comments. Of course, this is a brewery.
My bad, y'all. I just paused it to look. I had stepped away, but I thought I hit play. But listen, while we stuck on this photo, this is supposed to be a brewery. My bad, y'all. I wasn't speaking. I had stepped away. My bad. I thought I hit play. My bad. This is supposed to be a brewery, y'all. While we looking at this photo, you know what I'm saying? A brewery that was put together in the 1800s. This is so extravagant. This is so over the top. This is so magnificent when it comes to architectural design, and they will build something like this for a brewery. This don't make no fucking sense. This don't make no fucking sense. This is obviously ancient technology, and the civilization that constructed these structures obviously was at a peak. They're not at where we are or where they was in the 1800s when it comes to their industrial building technologies and feats. This is the people who already had it down pat. This could not be a brewery. This is obviously ancient Aboriginal or some civilization structure, right? And that they converted into a brewery. No one will build this magnificent shit to be a brewery. Let's continue the live, y'all.
And it makes perfect sense to look like a castle. How great our ancestors were with their horse and buggy. Look at what they could do. Sorry.
See, stop playing, boy. This ain't got nothing to do with your ancestors.
With their horse and buggy. How great our ancestors were.
Hey, yo, AP.
You see how you try to slide it in? How great our ancestors were. Nah, nigga, my ancestors. Yeah, I hear you, A1.
When I got all them in it. I got all the breweries, all of the I forgot the other name of the buildings. So I got all the breweries, stuff that I already had on my laptop. So I'm gonna probably, like I said, if I do the bill tonight, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna show. I gotta do an oil change on my car, so I don't know how I'm gonna feel after I do that. But I'm definitely, like I said, if I don't do it today, I'll do it tomorrow. But I already got everything pulled up and everything, so definitely it's gonna be a heavyweight. It ain't gonna be a lightweight. It's gonna be a heavyweight. Lead into culture. Aboriginal. No, I'm sorry. My bad. I'm bugging. To American guys part to it. So I'm like going to keep doing it.
Right, man. Shout out to A1, man. We're gonna definitely get to that. We're gonna definitely have to get to that. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. One thing for sure is we want to try to get with the program, man. This is not no brewery, man. That's something that they converted that shit into. Shout out to Tayshawn for supporting the channel. He said we need another 30 days. He said we need 30 more days. Shout out to Tayshawn for the cash out donation. He said we need 30 more days. We'll get it soon, man. We'll get it soon. We might hit another 30 days this next 30 weeks. But I'm definitely gonna give y'all some fire ass live streams though. You see what I'm saying? I don't know what flag that is. I think that's in South Dakota or some shit. Let me go.
With their horse and buggy. Look at what they could do. Sorry. Thanks for being here today. I'm not sure what I'm going to share with you all. I have a bunch of things open that I wanted to share with you. And to borrow from Adam the Woo, I hope you'll join me. Shall you? Welcome. Wow, this video will be the video after I thought I recorded a 1-hour video. I'm sure we've all done this. Thank God it was only an hour. All my videos are 1-hour videos. I just edit them into 20 minutes to not waste your time. And I would hate to think that I was wasting anyone's time. This is just interesting. If you are interested in the interesting, then you're in the right place. If you have an open mind and enjoy wonderment and researching the past from a different perspective, again, you're in the right place. What a mess. I don't even know if I want to try to share the video the way I did before. And recently I will have talked about the simulation, Jason's work at Archaics, and I do believe we're in a simulation. And how would you know if things were going well in the simulation? Surely we have assistants on the outside. In religion, they would call this angels. Some are just watchers. But we've all experienced things in life where things work out, and sometimes they just don't. And I typically listen to this. If things are not working out, it's to say if you hit a dead end once, twice, 3 times, you might not be on the right course in your life as a community, and the stories you're telling are false and have led you to a broken present, which is the state that we find all nations to be in now, a broken state. And why should the old world be in ruins? America is such a young country. Why
Y'all see this shit right here? What the fuck is this? This look like some buried building of some sort, don't it? You got windows and shit. You got a framework. Do it go all the way back to here or something? Like, that's pretty dope.
should all the ruins look like they're over 500 years old? This is Fort Livingston in Louisiana, all swamped out and in complete ruins, most of it buried. We're told this was built around the Civil War and then abandoned, not even completed. And it just comes down to the logistics. There's not roads out here, it's swampy. We're talking about a horse and buggy time period, and we need thousands of pallets of bricks out in this swampy island. And again, the logistics just don't add up. This was not built before and after the Civil War. There's no point to this fortification, not then and not now, nor the Fort Jefferson, built with 15 million bricks at a minimum. That's just what we can see. And of course, it's no longer.
Now look at Fort Jefferson. This is in Florida, by the way, if I'm not mistaken. This is in Florida. Look at this. Who the fuck will build a concrete island? This island pretty much ain't nothing but brick.
Man, hold up. See, and this is how idiotic some of these Indians or black Indians who challenging the so-called abos to saying that some European came here and bought all this equipment here and built that, or they produced all that equipment on our land while we was here. Like I said, some of these niggas, I don't know, man. Like, motherfuckers don't think, man. I think that people are really being disingenuous. They're shorting you on your history. And then what happens is a lot of these jokers who doing research, they going back and taking information that I put out there, and AP put out there, and some of the other brothers put out there, and adding it to their story. And if that's true, then that's cool. But listen, give credit where credit's due at. You understand what I'm saying? Give credit. I mean, motherfuckers will never give you credit, but I know you're talking point. I know what these motherfuckers were talking about in this. It wasn't even no community when I started. It wasn't even no community. But I know who was talking about what. And like I said, the only person who was talking about this highly civilization shit was Moors. It was not no motherfucking native black Indians or some of these Indians. It wasn't none of them talking about none of this shit. The only one who was talking about this was Moors. So get that shit fucking straight. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, I always tell you, I always give credit to the Moors. Whether you motherfuckers like it or you don't, like, I'm gonna continue to do that. You understand? But see, any information that you get from me, besides my own independent information, I got a lot of that. I got a lot of my observations from them. You understand what I'm saying? Not to say my personal research, because I got my own personal shit, and I got my own personal spin and my own personal hypothesis and theory to this whole issue. But like I said, a lot of information in the early 2000s, there was no black Indians out here. There was black Indians who thought that they was mixed with these Mongoloids. That's it. And they're saying, oh yeah, well, you know, some of us are Indians, or we're mixed with these people, and they out there in the powwow. Listen, that ain't our poster, my dude. So, but listen to what John Levi just said. How is they building this shit without pilots of bricks? If you go outside of construction site, look at all the equipment they got out there to construct a building.
Facts, like look at this whole island. Like, this is Fort Jefferson, but we were just looking at that other spot. But this is Fort Jefferson that you see on the screen. This whole island is pretty much loaded with brick. It's pretty much a brick island. How? In a time that it was harsh and heavy. How? How's horse and buggies doing this? You gotta ask yourself that, man. Let's continue the convo, man. Let's
do it.
Shout out to my brother A1.
Were in use as a military facility. Pre-Civil War, come on. It doesn't take rocket science to understand this. This has nothing to do out in this swampy island. And again, the logistics just don't add up. This was not built before and after the Civil War. There's no point to this fortification, not then and not now, nor the Fort Jefferson, built with 15 million bricks at a minimum. That's just what we can see. And of course, it's no longer in use as a military facility. Pre-Civil War, come on. It doesn't take rocket science to understand this. This has nothing to do with early America. But anyway, let's bring it a little closer to home. Deadwood, South Dakota, 1876. 100 measly years before I was born. 100 years.
Pay attention to this scene right here compared to what you see everywhere else. We're gonna get into it though. Look at them buildings in the far background. That's what I want y'all to pay attention to. Shout out to my brother Leonardo for the Cash App donation. Shout out to Big Dog Philly OG for the Cash App donation. We appreciate the support, man. Shout out to Big Dog Philly OG. Make sure y'all show him some love in the chat, man. Make sure y'all support the channel. Cash App and PayPal information is at the bottom of the screen. I think my PayPal name is Big Aboriginal Power, all one word, man. If y'all just want to know, man. Support the channel, hit the like button. Let's continue the live stream, y'all. Let's go.
Years. Nothing. And here you go. Here is what they would love to portray. And after doing all this research, nothing could be a greater farce. This is a movie set. This is nothing more than a movie set. And these are actors, controllers, playing a part, writing a history.
That's crazy because I was actually thinking that this shit is a movie set too. This shit is like a photo ops. How the fuck is in over there in South Dakota in 1877, 79, whatever the fuck he said, they living like in wooden shacks and saloons and shit when you got concrete structures all over the fucking all over North America. All over North America, you finding concrete structures, fucking breweries the size of fucking Disneyland and shit. Like, come on, man. That shit don't even make no sense. Let's continue, man.
So that would be fine if any town in America actually looked like this, aside from the movies, but they don't. In fact, if we were to build today, using the means that they had back then, we could replicate something like this, because really nothing has changed for 100 years. The mentality, in my opinion, is still the same. So here we see that same picture uncolorized, and now let's do what we do in this community. This is what I would call the history that they would like to portray. A population of no more than 1,000 people. And when we go snooping around this town, we're not going to see this primitive portrayal. No. First off, we have the Deadwood Hotel, the Haunted Bullock Hotel. So here we go. Stone brick.
Come on, man. You can't be serious. They got this. Let me go back just a little bit. They saying they got this in South Dakota. This how it look. But you got shit that look like this in South Dakota. Come on, man. You can't get us with the switcheroony. Look at this fucking brick, concrete, metal fucking building, man. Let me see how many layers. 1, 2, 3, 4. This bitch got 4 stories of concrete, amazing architecture at a time that they living in wood shacks selling liquor with horse and buggies. Man, stop playing games, man. The gig is up. Can we get a hashtag in the chat? The gig is fucking up in the chat. The gig is up.
So listen, real quick. So you think Europeans from another motherfucking country or black Europeans from another country who don't know the landscape came here and did that? See, people don't think. Motherfuckers is crazy out here. Motherfuckers don't think. You think some people came here and was able to scope the land out in a year or two, able to create supplies and able to build these structures? Like, listen, man, that's why, like, some of these questions, you just gotta say, like, look, man, come here for a minute. I'm about to smack you in the back of your head for even asking me some ridiculous question like that and not even properly pondering or thinking about the situation. You understand what I'm saying? Because listen, like you're saying, so some Europeans came here, black Europeans came here, or the French, they came here, they brought bricks with them on wooden boats, right? Offloaded the bricks and then built this structure? Are you fucking serious? Like, listen, and explain that one to me, please. Don't we ain't gotta explain how the buildings structure is the same as Europe. Explain how they came here and did this shit here. Oh, they just came here, just bum rushed y'all and built these structures. How? Go ahead, continue, man.
Yeah, because man, if you look at photos of white people in the 1800s, it'll blow your mind. You see what I'm saying? You let's look at a photo for one of these white people in the 1800s. Look at this shit. You see how these people look, man? You see this shit? You think these people came here and built some shit? Come on, man. Y'all can't be serious. Y'all just believe in anything at this point. If y'all believe that them people came here and built these structures, y'all just believe anything.
Brick over here, super detail 1895. Once again, brick, stone, old and weathered, and zero wood. Zero wood. Here we can see.
Like that's suspicious as fuck, right? That all these old cowboy movies, all the old cowboy shows I've ever watched show you wooden saloons, the double flappy doors, the wooden shit, the tin roof. Like it's never the concrete structures that you see. And when you look in real life and actually look at actual photos and the real structures of these areas, you never see wood. You never see a wooden longhouse, a wooden structure, a fucking teepee, or any stupid ass shit like that. When you got white people being born in log cabins at this time, you got your president, a white president, being born in a log cabin. You got majority of the Western Hemisphere. I mean, you got majority of the West Coast of North America living in tents. But you got these magnificent concrete structures. Come on, man. The gig is up.
The windows going down another story and super detail. This ornamentation that is seen and super. Here we can see window.
Like he just said, look, if you look right here, I'm about to show you on the screen. If you look right here, this shit go down into a different layer. This bit go down. Look at this. Look, it goes down. They bit go underground. Come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all see that shit? That bit go underground. Look, you see these little railings? Y'all guys gonna go right through the railing, go right down. Y'all guys gonna be up under this fucking building somewhere. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. The gig is up.
Windows going down another story and super detail. This ornamentation that is seen all throughout the realm as if the same builders were here. And here we can see they've put wooden trash cans along the sidewalk. This and the cheap wooden signs are perhaps the only new addition to this town. So did we really go from this to this? They love to push an image like this one. Here we go. Wooden, crappy building, bunch of thugs, and yet when we look around, we see buildings like this. The whole town is packed with beautiful.
He called these motherfuckers people thugs. Look at these motherfucking thugs right here. You know what I'm saying? Outside of this crappy ass building, man. Come on, man. A1. Look at this shitty ass wooden structure compared to the concrete structures that you see around. Look at all these thugs taking notice and taking ownership of this shitty wooden structure, man. Come on, man. This shit is fake.
Wooden, crappy building, bunch of thugs, and yet when we look around, we see buildings like this. The whole town is packed with beautiful brick buildings. And let's go a little deeper. How about This, soon after completion, the Carnegie Library, 1905.
I told y'all about the Carnegie, right? The Carnegie and the DuPonts and the Morgansons was going around building up and taking out of our old structures. This is what brought economic to the infrastructure of America, is because the digging up of these old buildings. Come on, man. You know how much money they said they built that took the they can raise $20 million to go build a structure like that and never build a structure like that. That's what I'm saying. They pocketing the money. All they paying is for an excavation crew, add in a new room or two, some windows. They ain't doing shit. That's our shit, man. This shit is a whole fluke, man. And I told y'all them Carnegies are some slick motherfuckers, man. They just like the motherfucking Rothschilds and shit.
So listen, right? So now, next question. So them vagabonds and rascals and rednecks, they came here and built that. So they had the signs from 09. How did the signs from 09 get over to Europe? We keep telling you, we created zero here. The Mayan calendar, see, none of them invested no time to look at the Mayans. The Mayan calendar got calculus and geometry and algebra in it, my dude. So how did that science get over there in Europe? Oh, the gods of the Americas, what it did. Was it you could visualize it? Was it you understand it? Was it your best so-called new undefeated YouTuber is telling you that this science came from over there? Like I said, man, some of these niggas need to be stoned to death, man. You need to run them out the community with some of their thought patterns, man. Because all it's doing is confusing, causing more confusion to the people who really doing the research. Everybody got a part in this, but when you start getting to the point where you start trying to tear down information that you don't completely understand, it's time to go. It's time to go. It ain't no, like I said, it's your information. If y'all niggas is cool with that, if y'all motherfuckers cool with the Native American culture and the little primitive history, then stay content with that and build your information on that. We on a whole nother fucking thing. Whether you like it or you don't like it, we on a whole nother thing. A whole nother thing. This is an advanced class right here. And even the motherfuckers who teaching geology and teaching some of this pseudo-ass Native American history, they can't even come over here without questioning it. And their questions is not saying, well, you know what? I'm willing to sit here and learn. I can understand that. I didn't bring this information to the so-called community, but I am willing to learn and I am willing to be teachable so I can teach my people. That's how you humble yourself. I'm humble. I learn from other people. You understand what I'm saying? I shout out to everybody. And when we said the other day to the brothers who brought the Aborigines or this indigenous paradigm here, I forgot two people who I didn't mention. Red Pill and Blue Pill. Shout out to them. They was the first person to do the interview with Harvest Butler back in 2008. They was the first one. These niggas wouldn't even know about no fucking Harvest Butler if it wasn't for him. And these motherfuckers wouldn't even know about Albert Perry if it wasn't for people like me, Supreme Chief Holiday, Ab TV, AP, and shout out to Jag in the chat room, man. Peace to God, Jag. They wouldn't even know about no fucking Albert Perry.
Pyramids in America, man. They wouldn't even do this shit, man.
And they said, oh, Albert Perry is from Cameroon. There wasn't even no fucking Cameroon in fucking Africa. My dude, them lands was uninhabited. I don't know if people got the memo, but I've been knew this for years. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, understand that. And they saying that, oh, they tested somebody in Cameroon who got the same DNA as him. So that means he came from over there.
Or did his peoples go over there? See, they can't explain.
I don't listen, bro. AP, I don't even want to get into that. I don't think them people the same people. They just got the same DNA, and they test all of us. All of us might have the same DNA. We don't know because we don't have laboratories, and we're not geneticists or scientists, or we haven't educated us on the format of how they did it. I know similar. You know, I have a science degree. I took it for biologies and no 3 biologies and 4 chemistries. I've listened to geneticists and how they say that DNA doesn't work. DNA is pseudo. Even geneticists is telling you, motherfuckers who went to school for this, they're telling you that DNA is pseudo. They're telling you can't test no human being with another human being. You can't even test because it's gonna come out 99.9 compatible. So like, the gig is up, man. I'll mute my mic. I'm about to hit this bag right here for about 6 minutes, man, and I'll be back, man. Peace to God.
Deadwood, South Dakota. Are you kidding me? Again? From this to this? Let me show you this town in color. In present times. Here we go. Now tell me where those crappy Hollywood buildings are. Non-existent. This has all been sitting here for much longer than this short cowboy history we're given. Again, these buildings go underground. How many times has this wall been rebuilt with different types of brick and just a complete disconnect with what they tell us versus what we see? This is a town that has 6 months of good weather, and I simply can't accept that this didn't already exist. And what did they do? Did they Photoshop wood facading on this main street while they were colorizing it?
This is allegedly Main Street in South Dakota, whatever city that is in South Dakota. And when you just looked at the same imagery, you see concrete structures. Unbelievable.
I don't know. And it's no different everywhere. Here we can see this Feldschlossen brewery, a castle recently shared with me in that past brewery video. And we see complete underground structure here under these terraces, openings, another opening here. And again, it has nothing to do with the height necessarily. So many different aspects.
Like, look at this structure right here, man. Amazing. Just look how large it is, built on top of a mound platform with layers on this bitch. Look at this. Magnificent. Magnificent. This shit is beautiful, man. And I don't believe no cowboys, vagabonds with lice pushing a horse and buggy can get that shit done, man. Honestly. This is the work of your ancestors, man. Shout out to the Aborigines.
Why it looks like a castle is probably the biggest point. Why the city halls, insane asylums especially, and certainly breweries. Why must they look like castles? I mean, why must they be built of brick and stone? It's just a factory, essentially, if we're to believe them. And even back to the Civil War, why must a fortification in this time period be built of 16 million bricks? In the water, nobody's attacking via boat. Battle.
16 million bricks in the water to construct this motherfucking fort. And look at it, octagonal shape, and look like it. Come on, man, this is an ancient fucking fort. Come on, man. How the fuck they get 16 million bricks to this island, man? During the time that they was using horse and buggies and shit, wagons and shit. Come on, man.
It was on the mainland. The horse and cannon battle. And so here it is. Here's everything. How are you going to explain this? How does this make any sense? Any of it? And here soon I plan on taking a trip to Glenwood Springs. Not too far from my house, maybe 4 hours away. An old bathhouse in a beautiful little town near a river. An old bathhouse in a beautiful... My house, maybe 4 hours away.
Look at this. This is allegedly supposed to be a bathhouse. Like, Who the fuck will build some shit like this for just a bathhouse? Look at the dome on it. See, that's something that's signature around here with the architectural people that build these structures. The stone, the house, the roofing, and the dome. And it says a lot. It speaks, you know what I mean? We got to look at the geometry.
An old bathhouse in a beautiful little town near a river at the foot of these gorgeous mountains. And this is a town, again, of about 1,000 people. And they threw this baby up right away. It was said Theodore Roosevelt visited this hotel. And let me show you this little hotel. Somewhere down here, we follow the river, and boom, having this giant pool. And it seems like this was something old world at one point. All these structures here are old world. Let me drop the man down here, and boom, there we go. Cream colored brick, stone, couple towers, just having all the features of an older time period. It was said that Doc Holliday spent time here, and really I think those are just stories. And probably 15 years ago I spent a lot of time hanging out along this river, and I remember old massive blocks and just a lot of anomalies, trains leading to nowhere. And here's a little old picture of Glenwood Springs down by the river. And of course, I don't believe in Roman ruins anymore. We must simply search for mining ruins. But again, we could approach it from all angles. These Windsor ruins in Mississippi, we are told, are the remains of...
Y'all remember the Windsor's ruins in Mississippi with the tall pillars that was the foundation or the front entrance to the world's largest mansion in the world at that time? Yeah, man, Mississippi. Shout out to the down south folks, man. We got 177 people in here. Hey, man, let's try to get 200 people in the live stream. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. Hey, man, shout out to y'all, man. Make sure y'all support the channel. Hit the like button, man. One thing's for sure, man. If you ain't shop with 2am.com, we are 2am.com. Go get you some merch. Shop like an Aboriginal, walk like an Aboriginal, dress like an Aboriginal. You feel what I'm saying? Let's get back to the information. Make sure y'all support the channel. Cash App and PayPal information at the bottom of the screen. Let's continue the live stream, y'all.
Of a plantation. So they have hidden all of these ruins that would help us piece together our history in all kinds of different narratives, scattering them around. Breweries, insane asylums, plantations, courthouses, Carnegie libraries, fortifications, especially the fortifications. And in my opinion, it's all built before the America we have come to believe historically as a new virgin country snatched up from the Native Americans. And it doesn't end. Every day I go deeper and deeper into the more obscure, and it's all there. It becomes really easy, in fact, to sift out fact from fiction. And what they call fact is nothing more than a movie, a big movie set, told with few pictures and many stories. And once again, I've been attacked and accused of not showing the construction of the Sunnyside Kilns in Utah, a site that I had visited. And here in this video, someone has said, aha, here is construction of the Sunnyside Kilns. John purposely left this out. And what you will notice is this is not the Sunnyside Kilns. This site has a curvature, as we can see here. A sweeping curvature. And if you recall my video, there is no curvature at the kilns in Sunnyside, Utah. While accusing me, this channel is showing false information. It says here, Sunnyside, Utah, and yet this is not the coke ovens that I visited. Next, I'd like to do a little update on my past video where I visited the coke ovens out here in the middle of nowhere. We have Price, Utah here, and here are the coke ovens that I visited. And then not far away, I was telling you about all the pyramid-like structures that I was discovering. This, we are officially told, is a landfill, and now it's temporarily closed. Look at this town. Are you kidding me? A landfill the size of the town? Maybe 500 people, I don't know. And this place is just a big cover-up. Everything being mined and removed. And I think a lot more can be discovered out here, just buried in the foothills. But what I wanted to show you was this pyramid that I was complaining about not being able to see from the road. It's like they had purposely blocked it or blocked its visibility. When I drove by, I could tell it was a pyramid. Let me plop the man down here. Very interesting. So here we go, and here is the pyramid. It looks much better in the footage that I took. Look how they have just scraped everything clean here, just erasing. But anyway, let's go back to this pyramid. Here we go. And I'm glad I had a look at it from the Google map here. And we can clearly see that it's a pyramid and that they've just been digging into it. Even here. Let's look on the Google Earth and see if it's any better. Here we go. And I can see it here. Now let's get a better angle. And what are they doing out here? Like I said, it had clearly been completely worked, buried, driven over, raked, and it was clear as could be. And it seems even more clear here. This was one of the parts that I could see off of the road. And here we can see all kinds of what seem like Nazca lines. And it seems like I was able to get a better angle. They're not letting me down low today. I'm always thinking about the simulation. I didn't call it the simulation before. I just called it God and the adversary, who I think is working in conjunction with God or the mastermind. And sometimes I try to share things as I did today, and everything goes wrong. I lost an hour screen recording, but I think it was meant to be. It was wiped from the simulation. I don't remember what I said, but it was wiped. And I accept if I'm on the right path, it will go smoothly. My life will go smoothly. Most things in my life have not gone smoothly, as if something was telling me I was on the wrong course. I spent 20 years of my life in the coffee shop business, building and running several different businesses, and every time it was absolute hell. It wasn't what I really wanted to do. My parents were in the restaurant business my whole life. They're split up now, but my father is still in the restaurant business. And a coffee shop was my version of the family business. I took all the parts that I liked and did what I knew. I think we all have this. We all know what our parents know, and sometimes we'll reluctantly follow that path. Other times not. But when I followed that path, everything went wrong for me, and I struggled, just like they did. And if I was not aware, I would just continue to.
Man, why this nigga telling us his life story and shit, nigga? Get back to
Beat my head against the wall. But I've always honored my spirit, or the part of me that cries within, and I could never do something that I didn't like for too long. It wasn't until I started to create my own life, moving out to my land, leaving the city and the way of life that I'd been brought up living. When I started to create my life from scratch, I received assistance. And I now believe that it's because that's what we're supposed to be doing as individuals, as a people. And that would be the point of a simulation, to figure it out. And if we just keep doing the same things, thinking the same ways, we're not benefiting anything. And if we keep doing the same thing, then I think the simulation will give us the same thing over and over and over until we do something different, get it right. And I've told you in a past video, I always felt like I was being watched, and like our lives and our choices mattered, not just for ourselves, but for the great.
Alright, man, I'm gonna end the video right there, but look at this motherfucking dome. Look at the dome of this building with the colorful windows. Like how they staining windows back then. Like that's some amazing shit right here. Shout out to the American Aborigines in the chat, man. This is the part where we chop it up and we get into the conversation part, man. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat and allow a few people to come on the panel for a second. Yeah, man. I'm gonna drop the link in a second. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. Then I'm gonna give y'all 60 seconds to hit the like button. For those that enjoy the live stream, hit the like button, thumb up the video, support the channel. Hey, this the open panel section. Hit the like button, man. Hey, don't forget to support the channel. Cash App and PayPal information at the bottom of the screen. Make sure y'all hit that link in the chat. Come on and ask Big Al a question, man. Let's get it. You got 60 seconds to come on in.
See, my life has been in motion. I'm a little windy. I'm not giving up yet. If you with me, time to place up your bet. Ain't no turning back, got niggas who ran. When we caught his ass, got caught in that jam. Yeah, you know who I am. Yeah, you know who I am. I can feel it coming. I can feel it coming. Is that feeling in your stomach? You can feel it coming. Is that feeling in your stomach? You can feel it coming. Yeah, you can feel it coming. Fake love, that snake you in your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it, that's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God wrote it. Too much fake love, that snake you in your face, love. Your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it, that's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God wrote it. Too much fake love, that snake you in your face, love. Your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it, that's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God wrote it.
Shout out to my brother Alabama in the building. What's going on, big brother?
Copper Grizzly, big Aboriginal power. What's happening, Captain?
Man, I can't call it with you. How you feeling, man? How you feeling?
I'm trying to wake up from the trance. These brothers said it was in the hypnotize me.
Yeah, they try to hypnotize us, brother.
You know, it's what was the Big Mama used to say? Common sense is uncommon. You know, how long will simple folk be fooled by simple things?
Right, absolutely.
It's just, man. You know, all right, where do we start, AP? You know, when you're talking about people we are being led to believe the pale skin. Remember, since we're going to do with the cowboy Indian, so you said Deadwood. Deadwood Dick. Who's Deadwood Dick? Big time melanated rodeo cowboy. Bass Reeves.
Yeah.
These are actual people. They're actual people who have been marginalized in history, but still have to be acknowledged as melanated. Shall we call them Aborigines?
That's fine with me.
So where the fuck is Deadwood? Now you said South Dakota. Where's North and South Dakota? Where's Dakota? Lakota? Sioux Nation? What? We're told it's Dakota now. What's the Lakota Sioux Nation? You know, when we keep having the way that we're being manipulated and we're being displaced, the agenda is to displace. First and foremost, this is a foreign agenda. We're having to go through, I just asked a friend of mine this morning, and I don't want to sound like I'm babbling here, but I asked her, all knowledge, all of what we call academia, all of what we are calling history, explain to me why archaeology is important, BAP. Copper Grizzly. Why is a motherfucker digging in the ground?
Right. Well, and according to them, this is how they able to reconstruct history or reconstruct history to give it the best picture possible. But my observation is for them to be able to rebuild our ancient past so they can be technologically advanced and try to find out the feats that our ancestors went through. Because what I'm saying, my elder brother, the technologically advanced road that we're on now is not the same one that our ancestors obviously took.
Do you know what reverse engineering is supposed to be? Could you tell me where they've reverse engineered a single one of those so-called pyramids?
No, they haven't.
And then you're going to say a mound structure, which predates pyramidal structure, you're going to call it a pyramid. That's like, you remember Legos and Lincoln? Because I'm dating myself, so I don't expect you in your 30s to understand the Lincoln log. You remember what a Lincoln log is?
Oh my God!
Do you know what a Lincoln log is?
No, I don't.
This log cabin shit. When you said earlier about the mythology of the American president who they're told is white, you do know they have pictures revealing the corpse of Abraham Lincoln to be melanated. Now, of course, you know, any dead body reverts to a dark skin pigment existence, no matter how pale the body was.
Absolutely.
In its live state, right? But a Lincoln log cabin, notice you're using the name Lincoln.
Lincoln, right?
Log cabin, built by who? Settlers. So they're chopping down trees. If you could use the example of beavers, you know, the way the beavers are constructed in the supposed Wild West in the Northwest Territory. Now, explain to me how a settler motherfucker was chopping down trees and did the construction that you just revealed in this presentation.
It's impossible.
I'm slightly confused, Copper Grizzly, but I'm just asking, trying to be simple and logical. Okay.
Right, I understand.
All right. Let me give you another example. You remember some Adobe shit? Now, this is Native American culture, you know, Chief, Holla Supreme Chief, if you're out there. I'm not saying this to be disrespectful. What do you understand Adobe's and Pueblo fucking construction from? Because that's his backyard. He's in Vegas. He's in Nevada, Arizona.
I think
Utah.
they try to explain the Adobe pyramids. And I think when we look at certain structures like what we've been looking at over the last 30 days, compared to the Adobe, Pueblo, apartment Quebeca style buildings, is that they're from two different timing, from the same civilization prior, but different timing. The Pueblo Adobe houses could be the beginning stages of what we seeing in the 1830 structures. This is, you see the beginning and then you see the outcome. This is what we could be looking at. So I believe it's from two different time frames when we look at Pueblo, Quebeca, Adobe, mortar.
But get where I'm going with this, AP. I want to start on construction materials. We started with Lincoln log. Remember the fable story about the motherfucking big bad wolf and the three pigs? They built out of what? Straw, sticks, and bricks.
And bricks, right.
Okay. So what the fuck is Pueblo made out of? Clay? Mud. It's a mud hut. Okay. Who do you know who they call the clay eaters?
I'm not familiar with no clay eaters, brother. Enlighten us.
It's the state of Georgia. Where is red clay at? Now this bastards, they just did a psyop, if you will, or
hey, I'm gonna show you false some red clay.
Where if you want to talk about a false flag, they supposedly blew up the motherfucking Georgia Guidestone.
Hey, they were that red clay you talking about.
I just bear with me for a second, my brother. The Elber, is it Elber, and outside or north and west of Atlanta, Elber, where the Georgia Guidestones, opposite granite etched in stone monument of the agenda of the supposed New World Order. Did you know I just found out recently, I'm still sticking with construction materials, AP, that most of Washington, D.C. was built off granite out of Georgia? Did you know that? Did anyone really could go? We could all, I guess, independently go and verify or deny. But just for the sake of the discussion, get where I'm using here. You got clay for one construction material. You got granite, and they both originated in our Aboriginal place that we call Georgia and Alabama today.
Right.
Now, the granite that they said that they unearthed out of Georgia to build Washington District of Columbia I believe it's either Vermont or New Hampshire is referred to as the Granite State. Now, I could be corrected on that. If anybody wants to do Wikipedia, a quick Google search. But why did the granite come from the south and not from the north?
Because that's where it was mined at, just much like marble was in ancient or in the past as well. You know, we know marble was heavy use in a lot of structures as well.
Okay, let's look at misdirection, good brother. You asked it, and some other person, even if it was that hypnotizing fool who sound like Levi, sure sound like he's Ashkenazi as a name. But they're supposed to, bless you, brother. They supposed to have transported anything over here. I don't care what it was. Mud, clay, brick, granite, transported here. Okay, so it wasn't transported. Just being logical here for a moment. So that meant you used shit you came up on, right? You said this before in your other bills and other past presentations. How the fuck is a motherfucker not from here gonna know how my shit works here? You don't know what the trees are like. You don't know what the rock formations are like. You don't even know how the structure should be set in the actual soil, since we are talking about being autochtons and we're sprung from the soil. I don't give a shit what soil they're sprung from in Europe or from Africa. It ain't the soil here.
Right.
Right. And also, we already know just from archaeological supposed scholarship, there is no predating here. You feel me? So anything else is younger than here.
Right. And that's why we try. Right.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro.
No, you're absolutely right. And within that, you can see the origin, you can see the reverement, you can often see the DNA or the fingerprint in other societies or other civilizations with our fingerprint on. You see what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that we're going to be highlighting too as well.
Now, let me give you another thing, some tricknology here, okay? Remember I said about them saying the granite came from Georgia. It built all of what we know to be granite and marble fixtures, the monuments, Lincoln Memorial, Thomas Jefferson Memorial, and the Washington Monument. Is there an obelisk larger, taller, or more architectural awesome than the Washington Monument?
No, it's one of the marvelous works of our nation.
But they're going to make you believe it's Egyptian of origin or Roman in its architectural design and spiritual, or what's the word, ritualistic use.
That's just like the one that you see in Central Park.
So the obelisk is a phallic symbol, right? That's what we were told to understand it to be.
Mistold, yes, by reconverters.
I think we're simpatico, bro. I don't know if we're working on the psychic realm here and we're in same mindedness, but I'm saying and using a discussion of construction, the materials used for construction. How are the vagabonds, did you call them? Vagabonds, scallywags, white trash, crackers, redneck. You do know there's a cracker dictionary, by the way, AP.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how they learned it at us. How they learned it at us. They taught us. They constructed our shit. This is what we're supposed to be convinced of?
Yeah, and they didn't even reconstruct it. They simply
Okay, let me give you one more thing to consider, and I'm gonna land my plane on this. If it's done here, replicate the motherfucking shit from where? Tell me where they brought some shit they were learned and schooled in, because you know what masonry means. You know what Masonic has been taught us as a spiritualism and secret society. But where, remember that the narrative they told us about? They brought the African craftsmen over here, right? That's the slave narrative shit. Okay, explain to me where any of this shit done here was done in Africa or Europe first, and I yield.
Right, and that's a question that A1 has been proposing since he's been talking about these structures, or that anyone came from somewhere else and built them. We're proposing for you guys to show it over there older. So yeah, man, let me allow the brother Tayshawn and the brother Big Dog Philly OG to speak real quick before we get back into this fire ass information. Big Dog Philly OG, Tayshawn, y'all got the flow real quick. Shout out to my
Yeah, I
brother
just wanted
OG
to
back.
say grand rising, everybody. Much love, much respect, man. I had the time an ignorant nigga out in the chat, man. Talking about, support. We support everybody else, but we don't support our people. That's why shit fucked up.
Right.
That's
So make
all I
sure y'all
want to
support
say,
the
man.
channel, man. Make sure y'all support the channel, man.
Damn
Make sure
right.
y'all
Support
support
the channel, support our people, man. Go ahead, brother. That's all I want to say.
the real support the real, man. Shout out to Big Dog Philly OG, man. We got my brother Tayshawn on here. What's going on, Tayshawn?
Peace, Bap, A1, Philly OG, Alabama. Man, I wanna these buildings you showing, man. This shit crazy, bro. I'm gonna send you a bunch of pics and videos, right? That I'll be taking on the road, specifically like West Virginia, right? I was driving through West Virginia 2 weeks ago, and I was on Interstate 65, I think, and I looked off to my right side, and off to the right, it was like down in the valley. It was a whole town, bro, of nothing but brick buildings down that motherfucker, and that bitch was basically abandoned. So I'm gonna send you all the pics and videos I be getting, cause your channel is way bigger than mine, and I'm gonna let you post the shit so people can see that a lot of these structures are still here today.
Yeah, man. Yeah, them structures crazy as hell, man. They still here. They hiding them. Most of that shit is on federal land, government land, privately owned land, and you know what I'm saying. So, like I said, I seen some shit in Delaware, at the experimental facility that the Morgan, J.P. Morganson, and the DuPonts own. It's a fucking castle tower with a copper top and there's motherfucking old structures all on that motherfucking land. They got a big ass brick wall put up too. You can barely see it. And at the top of the brick wall, they got glued on glass. So if you try to jump over the wall, you're gonna cut yourself up. I'm telling you, man. This shit is serious. They hiding our shit, man.
Hey, AP.
You got the flow, big bro. A1, what's up with it, big bro?
Put that picture up on the screen, the one you got on the thumbnail.
I'm not able to put it up right now. My computer literally went there. I had to switch to my phone.
Okay.
I'm waiting for my shit to charge back up right now.
I keep telling people, when you look at these pictures that John Fernborn and it's another John, I can't think of his name right now. These images that he made, and actually in that book by Arnoldas Montanez, right? The Americas in its earliest depiction. The first image you see, them holding the Aboriginal sister up with the cornucopia in her hand, right? And she's throwing gold. I don't know what the fuck she's throwing out. Right? She's being held by two fucking Slavics. Now let's just stop there. Now where did these motherfuckers come from, and why are they holding up a goddess in America? Number one, you look to the left of the picture. On the left of the picture, you see a fucking castle, my dude, or it might be a starfront with cannons sticking out. So now, and so Europeans came here, and the Europeans that's supposed to came here, or the black Europeans, there's none of them in the picture. The only people we equate with being Europeans is the Slavics that's in the picture. We know they ain't built it. So who the fuck built it? Oh, somebody came here. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, enough is enough, man. And you Aborigines, you should have right now, at this point in time, you should know who real and who fake out here. Man. You should know who's chasing clout and who's really sincerely for the people and trying to help the people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people is real disingenuous when it comes to this information, man. With that, I'll mute my mic.
Nah, man, you absolutely right. And Aborigines in the chat, y'all so smart. I tell y'all this all the time. Y'all some of the smartest people in the world because y'all able to crack the code and get back into the original information and dig up the information that they buried. It take a true smart motherfucker to do that. And at the same time, when you see people lying in your community or putting out misinformation, you guys, listen, you guys have the right to challenge the narrative. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta listen and push that shit. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta let that shit slide. Y'all got just as much jurisdiction to challenge the information as anyone does. So I just want to make that clear. You know what I'm saying? Just do it respectfully. You see what I'm saying? Do it peacefully.
Copper Grizzly, when the fact that we have to ask to do what should be common sense shows how fucked up our people's minds are.
Hey,
When
Alabama,
you,
we fucked up like a football bat, brother.
I mean, charity begins at home, isn't that? Whether you want to call it the good book or not, you know, these people who have been trained as Christian, told they're slaves, the descendants of or current, and been given an agenda from the Vatican and the Holy Roman Church, who says very clearly and plainly in the papal bull, Dum Diversus, create a slave forever. I mean, maybe we're not making it simple enough, bro. You know? If you are made a slave, and we've been told American chattel slavery, and if anyone bothers to study slavery, it says in the history of slavery, the American institution is referred to as the peculiar institution, which means it is unique and distinct from any other experience of slavery in the history of human existence. And the one thing that makes it unique from any other, and slavery still is going on today in Africa. There are actual slave auction blocks and people being bought and sold as they were done here in Turtle Island. We were told that chattel slavery in this experiment called I call it the United Snakes of America, was that a person was born a slave through a melanated womb. What the fuck? Who has really put that under analysis, AP? Right. And put the challenge to that. That's what Chief is saying about enslavement versus slavery. That slavery itself is a concept, is fake. And for making a person a slave, whatever God you claim in all these religions, the worldwide and all the history of people, if you are supposedly a product of a creator and you are God ordained and created, to be held in captivity or being a property of someone else is either demonic, devilish, or Luciferian, right? I'm talking about in their context of what their religions and their belief systems are. So if you put a person, a human being, or whatever you describe as a live being, into bondage, you are evil, period. It is demonic.
Brother man.
Yes, sir.
Let me just elaborate on that, right, a little bit, right? At this point in time, even when I see that, right, I believe that because we know that the Slavics, we know that the Byzantines, which would have been the Romans, right? But the Romans was Negroes and the Romans was also Moors, right? So they're the one who created that concept of to call these homunculus, I forgot the other term when you look up the term homunculus, or artificial produced human beings, which are Slavics, right? I think in that point in time, in the contents, they're talking about them. And like I said, you could take that, cross-reference that with Zachariah Stitchin information.
But A1, doesn't the Moorish Science Temple of America say they created these pale-skinned Europeans and went to sleep? I'm paraphrasing it, but isn't that part of their mythology? And you know, the Nation of Islam has the big head scientist.
As long as you believe in religion, you're going to be a slave to the God.
So just not to get too far down the rabbit hole of what is creationism or divinity or these God concepts we call religion. All human life is the product of a man and a woman procreating and bringing another person here, right? This technology being used by Ancestry.com. And by the way, you brothers are aware that BlackRock, that criminal enterprise, the hedge fund, bought the database of the genetic material or the information for $5 billion. Did y'all heard of that lately? And in addition to that, the Mormon Church has acquired over 1 billion records worldwide and have it stored, I guess, somewhere in the desert under the Great Salt Lake bed in a vault. So you've forgotten the paper trail, the paper genocide, and you are compiling human genetic material by deceiving people to spit in a tube and to offer up these paternity tests that are going on all over, not just America. You know, this shit is worldwide in supposed developing nations. They are using paternity tests and accumulating human genetic material, right? But keep telling people you're created by some mystical, out of your personal experience, unseen power, a divine higher, creator. But the actual creator is your mother and your father that creates you. And I yield.
Big facts.
Big facts. I mean, shit, that's a fact. Any nigga saying otherwise is just a spook at this point. You see what I'm saying? But shit, man, we've been on here for 2 hours and 30 minutes, man. We about to get ready to wrap this show up, man. Shout out to all the American Aborigines in the building, man. This was a dope live stream. I appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button before y'all get out of here. Make sure y'all support the channel by sharing the live stream before y'all get out of here. And make sure y'all get prepared for the pay-per-view American Gods. Me and A1's putting on this Sunday coming up. Not tomorrow, but next Sunday, excuse me. Next Sunday, American Gods, the pay-per-view will be airing. Make sure y'all come through and tap in, man. Will be a live pay-per-view. It will be a live pay-per-view.
AP, I got to drop this on you if you're going to call it that. Did you see the series Stars American Gods? And I don't know if you'll have, copyright issues or what, but if you could get little bits and pieces of what American Gods, that brief series, it showed people like, you got the brother from, oh man, it's on the tip of my tongue. He played a Nancy, the spider god concept from Africa. Bast, or what you might consider Queen of Sheba, was a Nigerian sister, played that concept. Then of course you got Odin. You know, are you hip to American Gods from Stars?
I'm gonna have to look into that. No, I've never.
From Stars, man. Even if you just
I don't even watch TV, but I will.
Oh, I feel you on that, man. But if you do get a chance, or someone could forward it to you, even if you only use bits and pieces of the first season, they said, how did gods get to America? And they used the opening scene. This is what you're going to love, is you can see only the first 5 minutes. The motherfuckers that we are told as Norwegians that brought Odin here, when they stepped off those goddamn supposed Viking ships, man, a fucking hailstorm of arrows and spears dropped on these bastards so they couldn't step off the beaches. But they never showed you the people shooting the motherfucking arrows or the spears. They rained that shit down on them so much that they had to fight each other on the beach until the supposed winds picked up that could blow their white Viking ass back to motherfucking Norway. Now, that was the opening scenes of the first episode of season 1. Then I'll leave you with this thing. You remember this Hindu god that has an elephant type head? They gave the impression that these motherfuckers walked across the land bridge to what we call the Native Americans with a woolly mammoth head, and the matriarch at the head of it had her baby die in this trek through the snow and the ice, and they left you the impression that it was the quote-unquote ancestors of the Native Americans. But remember, everything is an immigrant story, you feel me? So the gods, quote unquote, American gods, each got transported here with different immigrant stories. You feel me, brother?
Right.
And I yield.
I feel you. I feel you for sure, for sure. Shout out to my man. So for dropping that heat, man. Shout out to all the American Aborigines out there. I'm about to check that show out, American Guys. It seems like Chief already know what he talking about. I'm about to definitely check that out, man. Sound like a dope-ass show. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. With that being said, make sure y'all be safe. Make sure y'all stay aware. Make sure y'all stay vigilant. It's your brother Aboriginal Power, man, and we out. Peace.
Suave on the track.
Whatever it takes. The alleyway.
Coco, this your season right now.
They won't see me. They won't let me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I put attention, all in my blood, all in my veins. They started with perky, now that hair run up his veins. You started with serving, now them drugs drove you insane. Started with dealing, I grew up with killers, they taught me the game. I got some niggas that die behind, and that shit won't never the same. I know some niggas that lie behind, and that bullet had his name. Ain't no reason to cry about, cause that shit won't never change. MTF the 4th and P, my niggas can't get out the game. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stern. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stern. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah.
Lord, see, I